cares? I'll just leave it off like this for a second. Ladies and gerbils, welcome to the show. Very unusual situation whereby nobody, oh, actually, I can't say nobody because Hardcore just entered the waiting room. But I was waiting for Dee to hop on and da da da, and well, nobody. So hold on a second while I mute myself. There we go. Ladies and gerbils, oh shit, I'm not even logged into the fucking right account again, so I gotta switch accounts and then mute myself again. So please hold, ladies and gerbils. Might make noise. Oh, it's really slow today, so it didn't even make any noise. All right, well, there we go. Cheers, Christoph. First in the chat looks like. Welcome, buddy. Listen here, Jones and to grow. Cheers, buddy. I guess I could probably turn on camera. There we go. And let in Mr. Hardcore himself. There we go. Ladies and gerbils, the hell? Phantom freaking hair in my mouth. Weird. Jones and two grows in the house. What's going on, buddy? Southern Vermont Vintage, I think, was trying to join about an hour ago. Still don't have the daylight savings time figured out, eh? Just like many people, I think. Cheers, Robert Benjula. I've been corrected many times. Welcome, buddy. Or as I called him yesterday, the motherfucking Captain Biatch. Cheers, El Russ. Good to see you. D Zombies in the house. Apparently, the meeting is being live streamed. Thank you, Zoom, for reminding us. Couch is in the house. What's going on, Couch? Sitting on the couch, smoking on the couch, always on the couch. You can find him on the couch. Couch. That's his name. Don't wear it out, or you can honestly, because he's chilling. He doesn't care. St. Pete Runners in the house. What's going on, buddy? Welcome. D Zombie's having phone issues. Good to see you, D. Here comes the captain, or the motherfucking captain, biatch, as I was saying. Let's see what he chooses to be renamed as today. Would you prefer to be renamed as Super Captain? Captain?
What happened? Did my name change?
No, it's like the name of your phone, pretty much. It's really it's I don't
Oh,
want to say it's
it
boring, but
should
it is
be
boring. It's not your
Captain
fault.
420.
Well, certainly, but all right, I'll change it to that.
If you
Captain
could
420.
please, these phones update
Boom.
and they change the notifications and everything else. I think the phone probably updated and erased me, so I'll try to go back in and correct that for you.
What's going on, hardcore? If you're talking, you're muted. Maybe he's miming.
He's sign
Uh,
language.
Probably. That's probably exactly what it is. In a rare foreign sign language. That's what it is because he's a very clever guy. Welcome everyone in the chat. Bud Kilowatts in the house doing the green light or giving the green light. Welcome, buddy. I guess I can post the link. Speaking of people like Bud in the chat, let me post that for you. As always, folks, don't forget you can scroll through your Zoom rooms. If you don't join too many Zoom rooms, if this is the only one, then that's very easy because it'll just be the only one. But if you go to a couple, if you're at work or whatever else, I don't know, perhaps you meet with Yo Mama on a Zoom room, then, maybe you'll have a couple. So basically, one of them probably will say, Fumidor's private meeting, da da da. Just click on that. Boom, Bob's your uncle. Wouldn't it be funny if Bob was actually your uncle? There we go. Pinned message so you folks can have access to that. So, folks, if you are new to the show, you're probably not new to the show, but if you are, just in case, of course, like, share, and subscribe. That would always be a delightful thing. Thank you, John and On, for saying, Hola, pendejos. But folks, first of all, hola, pendejos. But yeah, welcome. If you are new to the show, welcome, honestly. We would love to see new faces. We'd love to see some new faces on the panel. You're more than welcome to join us. The rules on the panel basically are don't be a dick, don't show your dick. Pretty fucking simple. I feel like half the population doesn't even have a problem doing that at all. So basically, pretty easy to comply with for the most part. 50% of you are already complying with half the rules just by being there. That's pretty easy. You know what I mean? Don't be a dick. Don't show your dick. That's it. Don't come on here to start a fight. In other words, don't come on here to be a jerk off. Feel free to have a contrary opinion. That's perfectly fine. We're mostly organic growers. Well, predominantly we'll call it organic growers here on the panel. Actually, I haven't done a tally recently. It might even be closer to 50-50. Regardless. A lot of us are organic growers. I'm certainly an organic grower. Um, but I'm not going to argue with you for your growing style. I might debate it with you because I genuinely, sincerely feel that organic growing is better for a myriad of reasons, not only taste, flavor, experience, all that, but also environmental impact, regenerative impact, on and on and on. Happy to debate those things, honestly. Happy to debate your perspective as well. So if you think that synthetic growing has its own advantages, that's perfectly fine. Just don't come on here yelling. You know what I mean? Just come on here with an informed opinion, basically not something that you pulled out of your asshole, and bring it. That's it. That's all. But welcome, honestly, folks. If you have a new opinion or something to share, you're more than welcome to hop on here. If you've never been on the show before and you've considered it, now's a good day to do that. Middle of the day, you're going to have tons of energy, or perhaps you're in Europe relaxing for the evening. Perhaps you're in Germany. Honestly, congratulations to Germany for legalizing medical cannabis. Honestly, spectacular, spectacular news. They say, as goes Germany, will go the rest of Europe. So that is presumably really good news in the near future for the rest of Europe. There's already a number of medical programs in Europe already. Gosh, congratulations, Germany. That's a really big step. Come to think that 30 years ago, they were unified from a divided, fractured Germany with literally a fucking iron curtain, basically, between them. Well, in that case, a concrete wall with razor wire on it and guarded with fucking guns. Can you believe that shit? Guards guarding inside their own country, keeping people from leaving. Can you believe that in Eastern Germany? Anyway, so they were unified, and 30 years later, they fucking also legalized weed. That's pretty incredible. Anyway, and also you can grow in Germany. So if you guys are from Germany or if you know some Germans, please do welcome, honestly. I've been meaning, honestly, to talk about how I've been wanting to start a German version of this program, basically. I don't talk about it very often. In fact, I probably never talk about it, honestly. But I speak German. I'm pretty rusty at it at this point, but I studied it in college and I'm pretty good at it. I lived in Vienna for a little while and so on and so forth. So I actually speak German. So I have honestly, oh gosh, I've thought about many times over the years moving to either Austria or to Germany. Austria has had legal medical cannabis for a few years now, and goodness gracious, I've thought about moving there too. But ultimately, in Austria, I think you can only have a very small amount of plants. So that did actually dissuade me because, frankly, you get to be as obsessed as we are about growing, and suddenly like how much you can get away with starts to really matter. And I remember in Austria, there's not a whole lot you can really get away with. Perhaps if you're an aristocrat or something and you own a castle or something. But gosh, in Austria, you literally have to register with the police. Even if you're a tourist, you have to register with the police within 24 hours or 48 hours. I can't remember. It actually depends on nationality, or at least it used to. You have to register your domicile, basically. So if you move hotels, you have to re-register with the police. If you go to a different town, you have to re-register with police. They're pretty fucking serious about it. So
I,
that's not a country that I would play games with. I mean, the jails are probably cush, but I'm not gonna fucking go to goddamn Austrian jail. So, what's that,
when
Captain?
when I came to Thailand, when I moved here to Chiang Rai, and I was registered here in Chiang Rai. If I went to Chiang Mai, just the next province over, I would have to re-register.
Huh.
And then when I got back, I would have to go to immigration office and tell them that I'm back.
Hmm.
They wanted to know where you were all the time.
Some countries are like that, man. They really we in many cases people take this for granted, but people take their freedom in America for granted. You really are in most cases free to roam wherever the fuck you want. There are clear exceptions. Specifically, for example, in the UK, there's a right to roam whereby you can literally hike if you want to on any open land. If it's private, not private, doesn't fucking matter. You can't do that in this country. You can definitely get shot in many places for roaming on private land. But in the context of you can fucking drive around, you could literally drive across the country today. If I wanted to go visit Stone Root and go have some, I guess this is probably not the right time for lobster sandwiches, but he's invited Smash and a few other people to go have lobster rolls in Maine. If I literally drove there now, nobody would give a shit. Like literally no one would give a fucking shit Whereas in many countries, you'd have to actually register as you go through different regions. In Russia, famously, you actually had to register as you were going through the different regions. You had to have an internal passport, and that internal passport, first of all, stated your ethnicity. So, for example, if you were Armenian of Armenian ethnicity, it would say Armenian, Soviet Union, da 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 da, and you'd use that passport basically, and it would be closed depending on the time of the Soviet Union. In many times, in the earlier times, for example, when Stalin was around, they literally used those internal passports to internally deport entire populations, let's say from the Caucasus. They depopulated entire regions basically and sent them to Siberia and everything else based on their nationality. And to this day, basically, I think well, there are closed cities still. There are definitely still closed cities in Russia. So that basically means that you probably have different levels of passports that allow you to go to different places. That's not a thing in America. I mean, even the fucking the rocket laboratories in Palo Alto, everything, like all our nuclear facilities, there's no closed fucking passports. That's idiotic, honestly. Like as an American, that's just fucking stupid. But in Russia, that's a thing, you know. And in other countries, you can really be. In China, your absolute every fucking movement is monitored and noted and surveilled. It's really something else. We really take a lot of our freedoms for granted. And you know, the U.S. is not the only country like this. France is quite exceptional at this. A few other countries as well.
And
Anyway,
then you go
what's that, Captain?
and then you go into places like Miramar, and basically you don't want to be on the streets after like 11 or 12 o'clock. And they have so much turmoil and fighting going on. It's actually not a very welcoming place to go. And
Miramar down
Vietnam,
in California, or you're talking about in Asia
no,
somewhere?
Burma,
Oh, I
what
see, I
used
see.
to be Burma.
Oh, I have, yeah,
And
well, Burma's, yeah, I've heard it's a wonderful country, but it's run by just a horrible fucking dictatorship. It's a weird dictatorship.
well,
It's a collective dictatorship of the army. I think they do have occasional leaders that last a few
warlords.
years, but it's not,
No,
yeah,
it's
exactly. But it's not like, for example, when you think of a dictator or something, you think of Saddam Hussein or somebody like, or Putin, right? Like he's been the same president for 20 something years. In Burma, it's changed quite a few times,
many.
but it's the army. Yeah.
And the problem is where I'm at here in the Golden Triangle, as a Westerner, I can't even cross the border up here to do a border run because they will not allow Americans into that country
Hmm.
because above where I'm at in Thailand is, they call it no man's land. Whoever has the most guns and money at the time
Hmm.
controls that area. It is really bad
So it's
here.
still a heavy crime area from drugs mostly, or just all kinds of
Yes,
smuggling?
all
Huh,
drugs.
huh.
Probably 80% of the drugs made in Miramar, Burma, are made right around the Golden Triangle
Hmm.
and all the way up to China
And don't
because
forget that speaking of
they take
China, we think of, you know, Americans are very self-centered, or at least in terms of Americans, we're like, oh, America only exists. Like everything else is like a joke, right? But don't forget, China and India both have big heroin using populations or abusing populations, right? It's of course illegal in both countries, but that doesn't stop junkies from being addicts, right? Like, so in other words, that golden triangle is not only feeding the West, it's also feeding all of Asia, Australia, probably Africa too. Like basically everywhere there's heroin, a lot of it comes from Southeast Asia, right?
it correct.
Hmm.
But the thing with Miramar is it's China bringing down all the chemicals and then making what they call yaba, which is meth, and making ice and making fentanyl. They're doing that all in Miramar, and then they're tracking it into Laos, into Vietnam, and they're getting it out that way too. But when I got here, Yaba pills were like $4 or $5 a piece. Now you can literally buy like 15 for $1. Okay, I'm
What's a
sorry.
yaba pill? I
Five,
don't know what that is.
five for $1.
Did you just say
That's
what a
meth.
yaba pill is? Because I don't remember hearing that.
Meth. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Cheersy.
Yeah. It's pretty much meth. But, it's gone down where you can buy five of them for $1. And they were $4 to $5 a piece in 2015, 16. So the price of cannabis has dropped and the price of other drugs have dropped. That's for sure. I think cannabis in Thailand is doing exactly what they were kind of hoping, though. And I think it has taken away from a lot of the alcohol use. And I
Yeah.
think it's taken away from the hard drug use too,
Hmm.
especially now that prices are down where they're affordable for the local Thais to buy. You can't spend, well, even though you're an alcoholic or druggie, you probably do spend your whole day's pay on your daily drug habit. But now that you can buy 10 grams of cannabis, 12 grams, 15 grams for that day's pay, you can pretty much get high for the whole week. It still don't mean that the baby's daddy gonna take care of the baby.
I go make coffee now.
Up on up, folks. I actually have errands to do today, so I'm not going to be on here too late. So, unless D or somebody else can run the show, it's going to be a fairly short one. So don't dawdle.
Yeah,
Um,
I already I did like a what was the captain? Captain was there. Like a 2 hour
Two
pre-show
hours.
today.
oh wow,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went early.
Oh, Captain, my Captain.
yeah,
Here's a new pack of seeds I ended up getting in the mail today. It's in Thai, of course, so I can't read it, but that's a pretty packed pack there. I would probably say there's 200, 250 seeds in there.
right on.
You got a pretty pack.
That is a very frustrating experience being in a country where you can't read the script. It's like being
Yeah.
illiterate, and it must be really challenging to be illiterate, honestly, because when I was in Israel, like, dude, Hebrew is I mean, it's like it's worse than Greek because Greek, at least, you've seen probably in college or something, right? And you probably have some conception of it, at least from fraternities and sororities, if nothing else, right? But fucking Hebrew, it's backwards. The script goes backwards like Arabic does, and it just looks like gibberish. It looks like
Well,
fucking gibberish. So
it
when you look around, like a restaurant, just it could be anything challenging. So I can imagine Thai and what a
well,
lot of the
if you
different Asian,
can
Cambodian stuff, they have their own scripts.
if you can read that, okay,
Well,
that's
first of all, it's out
actually
of
not
focus, but still.
one word. That's like 5 words
Oh,
on
really?
this seed pack. Yeah. So when, you know, the Thai people put on subtitles for English, okay? Well, when you put subtitles up for Thai, or they come because it's an American movie dubbed in Japanese and translated into Thai at the bottom. Thai is just one long stretch of characters,
Hmm.
basically. There's
It's like
no
Latin.
punctuation.
They used to never punctuate it. Yeah, you had to kind of understand the words within it. And they also abbreviated the
Exactly.
fuck out of it too, so you had to understand that too.
And
Thank fuck we don't write shit that way.
some of the words, one word will be like 8 characters, but 7 characters actually mean a whole complete phrase.
Hmm.
So you're like, wow. They asked me, well, how long do you think it'd take you to learn how to read Thai? And I said, never. I
I
will
mean, I don't
never
know.
be
I
able to
disagree.
read
Like,
Thai.
my mom lived in Israel for a good long while, honestly, and never bothered to read or to learn Hebrew or actually even Yiddish for that matter. She grew up speaking Yiddish with her parents, but I guess just decided not to really work on it. Yiddish is more of a spoken language though, so it wouldn't have necessarily helped her as much. But how do I say? It seems I have to be honest. It seems very kind of arrogant. You know, like there's a bunch of cannabis breeders that live in Holland, for example. What's his face? Oh, why can't I think of his name? The guy that is the puppet on Hash Church. What's his fucking name? Famous breeder. Shit.
AJNKXP, IGP Attenley.
I just fuck it.
Well,
D is trying to
the
say it.
only famous breeders that I know from
Motherfucker. I can't think of the guy's
Amsterdam,
Skunk
name.
Man
Shanty,
Sam.
Neville.
Skunk Man Sam. There we go. Thank you, D.
Billy
Anyway,
Sam is 5 minutes muted.
yeah, I could tell. Long story short, it seems very arrogant to me that all these years, because he's been in Holland 30 fucking years or something, I don't even longer maybe, and never bothered, like proudly bothered never to learn, basically bothered never to learn Dutch. You know, like you think after a long enough time, you'll just kind of soak some up, basically, right, from people swearing at you or something, right? But no, like there's people that are kind of proud not to learn the native language, and it seems very arrogant to me. And even if it isn't, you know, not everyone is talented at languages. That's certainly the freaking case. Everybody has their own
Me.
ability, right? And some people, gosh, after 30 years, really still struggle with language. I understand, but to never bother to learn it seems like a recipe for disaster. You know, like I remember how difficult it was in Israel, and mind you, there were quite a few people who spoke English, less than I thought, because I remembered a lot more people speaking English in the past. But I was in fairly remote places in Israel. I was basically in like the Texas of Israel or some shit, right? And not the Houston or some crap. Like it was the Panhandle or some shit, right? Oklahoma, maybe. I don't know. Um, Maybe a better example is, I don't know, fucking Wyoming or something. And maybe it wasn't that small, but it was somewhat remote. And in Tel Aviv, everybody freaking speaks English pretty much. In some of the big cities, Haifa, Tel Aviv, but where I was, oh man, I was lucky to find people that spoke English. Still, there were enough people that spoke English that I didn't have to freaking hobble through with Hebrew. But still, I used Google Translate and everything else. Those things are goddamn invaluable now. The amount of technology that we have in our pocket is stunning that we can take advantage of. But it still, even with all that, it was still really challenging to just get through the fucking day without speaking the language. I can't imagine living there. Like my mom lived there for years, and what, you just don't know what shit at the grocery store says, and she didn't know technology. So for her, like, is that cheese or is it yogurt? I guess we'll take a chance and we'll just buy one. And I guess that's how she probably lived, like an illiterate person. That must be such a fucking difficult life, and I can't even believe it. But I don't
For
know,
the
whatever.
first 6 months to a year here, yeah, you basically live illiterate until you can understand what the packaging says because there's no English on the packaging usually. So you have to, learn the necessities of it.
Mhm.
And I agree, I am like the slowest learner, especially after my accident,
Mhm.
but I at least know 50 Thai words
Mhm.
and I can put simple sentences together
That's good.
Suck,
and
suck.
order food and order things and understand how much money they're telling me. But yeah, I feel if you go to a country and you make no effort to learn their language, that's a big insult to them.
Mm. It is arrogant, isn't it? Yeah, it's like, oh, my culture's so good that I can come to your country and you have to learn my culture still. That's kind of gross,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
English is English is all over too, though. Like you go to Vietnam, you'll find a couple people that speak English.
No, Vietnam freaked me out because there were all these Asian people speaking English. It literally freaked me out for 2 days. Okay. I was high for those days walking around, but all the Asian people were speaking English. You come to northern Thailand and it ain't that way. You go to northern Cambodia and it's not that way. There are a lot of English speaking people in both Cambodia and Vietnam, but really Vietnam.
Yeah, they stay. Well, a lot of them are the expats. They've been there since
Yeah,
fucking World War or Vietnam War.
Uh-oh.
yeah. But the thing is you have their children who are Vietnamese and they look completely Asian, and you're coming from some place where the Asians really don't speak English, so you're not used to it. It freaks you out. I thought
And
I was tripping.
You know where the Asians speak English is Singapore. It's actually one of their national languages. I think a
is it
lot of
really?
people are surprised by that. Yeah, yeah. So they're fluent, but they have their own accent. It's kind of it's a very unique accent, honestly. Yeah. Weird
Oh,
country too, because the people are very happy there, and yet it's basically a repressive like dictatorship kind of, but it's like I don't even know. It's like some sci-fi dictatorship or some shit where it's like for the people or whatever. And so, for example, drug offenses are horribly offensively treated. For example, if you go there with just a few grams of weed, they will kill you. And there's no exceptions. There's no like parole. Like, oh, they'll kick you out or some shit. Like, no, if you're a foreigner, they might beat you with a stick like 100 times and let you go just because they don't want to have a national or an international incident. But if you're not a foreigner, they will literally fucking hang you for a few grams of weed, heroin, anything.
yeah, Venezuela.
Crazy.
What is it?
Are
I
you talking
Oh,
have
your
a
sound
Singapore?
is
friend.
terrible, Ryan.
I have a friend here who is
Who's the static? Is that
wow.
hardcore? I think that's hardcore. Yeah, it's hardcore.
I have
Sorry, hardcore. You
I
got a
have
ton of static. I don't know why.
I have a friend that is from Singapore, but he's married to a Thai girl and he lives here. Every time he goes back to Singapore, he has to quit smoking pot for 2 to 3 weeks
Yeah.
because he gets this tested
Hmm.
because he was caught with 2 joints in
Nice.
Singapore. So every time he goes back to see his family in Singapore, he gets drug tested.
See what I
What
mean?
about what is it? Venezuela has they're like running through the city. Any drug dealers or drug users, they just execute.
They're locking them up. Uh, they went from having like 8,000 prisoners to having like 80,000 prisoners now. Their
Is
largest
that El
jail can hold
Salvador? Is that what we're talking about?
100,000.
El Salvador. Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yep,
But their country, again, interesting
needed
example.
it.
You don't want to root for this kind of stuff, and at the same time, you understand why they did it. Their country was literally overrun by the drug cartels, basically, kind of like Mexico is, but worse, actually. Literally, the kids had to have bodyguards, like just normal kids, not like rich people or anything. Like normal kids had to have bodyguards to go to
Olay.
school and shit. Otherwise, they'd get kidnapped and ransomed and stuff. And they would literally kill the kids if they didn't get ransomed and whatever. It was a horrible situation. So the president was like, "All right, fuck this. We are just literally going to stamp this shit out." And they have what overnight like 10 times as many prisoners or something, and they weren't like a light touch on prisoners before that. It's really something else. But crime has dropped like a stone, and evidently the this move is super popular. So interesting.
Oh,
Cheers, Digger.
gotta go to the
Cheers, folks in the
dispensary.
Hey,
chat. What's that smashed?
I gotta go to the dispensary. I need some flour to hold me
Hmm.
until tomorrow.
Worst part is I might have to buy like a week of weed too. I have to go to California for a little bit, and I have weed drying right now, but I have to leave honestly before it's gonna dry, and I'm basically almost out of anything else. So I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Either just go cold turkey for a week, which sounds terrible, or buy like a week of weed. I'm like, oh
Nah,
no, both sound terrible.
I wish we were closer. I've got 50 grams. I don't know what I'm gonna do with.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not.
so funny.
It's
Yeah, I could
yeah.
use
I
it.
wish I wish we
Fuck.
could like be like Canada kind of like if I needed weed,
Right.
I'm about to like I'm harvested and you needed
Oh, it'd be
weed,
excellent. Yeah.
smash the
You
need
have
like
to.
now
Yeah.
and you send me one over and when I harvest I'll send you one over.
Hmm. Yeah, that would be civilized. Hopefully the law will change someday. Problem is
We
we
did that
growers
in
are like
Michigan.
last on the list, honestly, and nobody gives a fuck. And it's ridiculous because, it's like what, do you have to fight for your right to grow tomatoes? No. Like that's just stupid. No, nobody has to fight for their right to grow fucking zucchini or tomatoes or some shit. But we literally are going to have to
Rose.
fight for our right to grow weed. It's ridiculous.
The back of our normal T-shirts read, "What if it was a felony to grow a rose?"
Yeah, seriously. Idiotic. St. Pete runners saying, yeah, I have too much. It's easy to get too much. If you have a couple of harvests down, fuck, I used to forever. I used to have so much to the point that, man, if I missed a few harvests, it wasn't a big deal. And then sure enough, I convinced myself to just keep breeding. And so I missed a few harvests and oh man, now I'm basically out. Well, also I moved, but still.
I go through
Um,
I the one harvest that I actually lasted me a while was when I did that Big Apple fritter grow.
oh, right. I remember that was a lot of weed. Yeah.
But for the most part, I barely last harvest to harvest.
Hmm.
Most of the time, I'm not. I'm a couple months short.
Couple of months. You should be harvesting every 2 months.
When I had the
Yeah.
5x5, I was only doing one big grow. I wasn't kind of rotating things in.
Well, and then you should be growing. Well, we need to work on this smash because
Did
you
you
should be having
sell
more than
any?
enough weed for 4, 5, 6 months. Holy shit. If you grew from seed every run, and then it would take you 4 months, and you should definitely have with the space you have, you should definitely have enough weed. If you
Now,
grow
yeah,
from clones every 2 months, oh man, you should still have enough.
Yeah.
I should be able to get.
We should have a
So
special edition. Pimp
my
Smashed Grow.
my plan right now is to try to have 4 plants
Uh,
harvesting every 30 days.
That's a good idea. And if you had good sized plants, you'd definitely get there. I mean, you'd have a lot of weed.
how about one plant every week?
I
That
need
might be complicated. What do you think? I don't know. I mean, I guess not, because you just basically put a plant in the flower room, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah,
And
but
take one
you got to
more
also think
clone.
about trimming.
Hmm. Yeah, you'd have to be on it. It would just like mentally it would be challenging. Like let's say you have 8 plants, and so you have 8 plants at different stages of trimming. You're like, oh, is this one in week 7? Okay, I can't trim it anymore. Is this one in week 3? Okay, I can trim it still. Oh man, it would just be complicated after a while. Like
Mm.
in principle, it's not complicated,
Sunday
but in
during
reality, it
football game.
becomes complicated.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Miranda Family Farms does 4 every couple of weeks, and that's kind of where I want to be because I still stay within my plant count and everything,
Mm.
but I
Yeah,
also
no
have
reason not to maximize that. That's for sure.
I got that little tent going right now, and it's going to be the perfect starter tent to just rotate like 3 foot plants, 2 foot, 2.5, 3 foot plants into the big tent to flower. Dude, I hate when you buy like oil and you get a big jar and then you're done with it, but there's still like a half a gram smudged throughout the whole glass.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
Got to use them little rubber jars.
Yeah, just take some alcohol and put them in alcohol,
Yeah, but then I can't smoke
and
it.
Yeah.
but you can still use it, so you're not wasting it.
You're right. Yeah.
Those little rubber jars
Yeah,
were like the little rubber containers were awesome.
No.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
those,
the silicone ones.
Yeah.
Yo, Ryan, you got mad feedback.
Yeah, I would
and the
try
problem,
coming back on maybe.
Even a rubber one this big will still get like
Oh yeah.
and stuff.
and, and apparently the rubber ones, the little small rubber ones, they give off, something comes off onto the product. So I've been told not to use those. I can't remember exactly right now, but yeah, that's why I don't use those containers.
No,
So you take a little bit of vegetable oil and put it in there, and then take your metal, you know, dabber
Well, yeah.
and, scrape it up like that. And, just use it as like Fico.
that's what I was thinking. I could like if I'm gonna do RSO, I could just put
Yeah.
alcohol in here for a little bit, close it up, and then when I'm going to make it, just dump it in the mix.
No, you don't want to do that. What you have to do is you have to burn the alcohol off or
Well, yeah, no, I
evaporate
know
the
that. I
alcohol
make.
off. Well, you
I'm saying,
said just dump it in, and I
yeah,
don't want
I'm
people
saying
out there to understand.
you would take this, and while you're making your RSO, you would fill this up with alcohol, and then when you're making your RSO, you would just dump it into the big vat of alcohol with the flour, and then reduce it.
No, I just, what you're going to do is you don't want to like put an ounce or half ounce of alcohol. You just want to get it kind of moist on the inside so it's pliable, and then scrape it out that way. That way you're left with a really condensed product.
Yeah, but even if I let the alcohol absorb all of it and then reduce it, it's going to be in there.
Yeah, but it takes time to evaporate the alcohol. Unless you've got a hot electric hot plate, definitely don't do it over a flame.
No, I'm going to use electric for reducing. Yeah, don't ever do
Well,
Pico over flame.
well, believe me, there's a lot of people out there that tried it. It's not
Like, look,
advisable.
I just scraped up probably a quarter. I don't know, a good dab.
Well,
That's a
there
good
you
couple.
go.
That's a couple of dabs for me.
Nothing to sneeze at.
That's dope.
Here's folks in the chat, lurkers, non-lurkers, like D always says. Welcome, everyone.
Ah,
You guys are, of course, always welcome to join the show. We're still here for a little bit. I don't know. I get the feeling that D doesn't necessarily want to go very long. So unless someone else on the panel wants to go longer, I think it's going to be a fairly short show, ladies and gentlemen. So don't freaking dawdle. Also, though, if you'd like the show to go longer, fucking hop on and potentially volunteer to run it. Because I definitely have shit to do. I'm going to be making, I'm actually putting it together because we're going to bake it a little bit later because I got to go do some errands. But I'm going to be putting together a tagine. Going to be putting together a chicken tagine that we're going to make later tonight. We're going to eat with some couscous. It's going to be a fucking baller. I actually have a Moroccan
oh,
tagine. So
fancy.
it's going to be cool. Yeah, it's going to be. You could put it on the oven, but I don't actually have a diffuser for the gas stove. I need to buy one of these days, honestly. I could just buy one. But you can use them on a gas stove if you use a diffuser, but I'm just going to use it in the oven. Be fine. The cool thing about the lid is that it basically kind of like a Dutch oven in many cases. Not every Dutch oven does this, but in many cases, this is the nicest thing about a Dutch oven is that it basically condenses the water vapor on top of the food that it then basically bastes the food with.
Oh,
Essentially, it's a self-basting roasting pan. Basically, that's one of the reasons why a Dutch oven is so spectacular. Same thing with a tagine. Anyway, um,
yep.
cheers those folks. Cheers though folks in the chat. Hop
Well,
on up, ladies and gentlemen. Tell us what you're planting. Tell us what you are thinking about planting. Tell us what you would like to plant. Come show off your garden. My lights are going to turn on in a few minutes here. So maybe in a few minutes, maybe I'll go and show my garden again. Because unfortunately, in the next few days, I'll probably be harvesting. Well, I will be harvesting. So probably it will be. Yeah, that's basically the end effect of a tagine. That'll be preserved lemons and olives and chickpeas and, of course, chicken thighs. And the broth is mostly cumin and freaking
looks good.
cloves and cinnamon and shit like that. You would normally see some cinnamon sticks, even though cinnamon comes from a different part of the world, but still don't forget everybody in Africa
So,
love spices
D-Zombie
too.
P.O. Box.
That's it. That's it.
Send some to
I'll have
me
it
overnight.
overnighted. Yeah, I'll have it
Yeah.
overnighted. That's it. Hop on up though, folks. Tell us about your garden. Tell us about what's going on with your garden. Like I was saying, I want to show my plants before I freaking chop them down because then they're no good to anybody really. I mean, I guess I'll show the nugs when they dry out, of course, but we'll see. So
Do you guys
Nah,
hear that hum? Yeah,
no,
I'll go right next to it. Ah,
but
ah.
my ears are ringing.
blueberry fritter. Yeah, that's probably not too bad. I just pulled down
So,
blueberry itself was super, super aromatic. And I also have, I don't know if I should tell you about that one yet, but anyway, something else about that too.
so that sound I just put the mic up to is the 6-inch inline. It's like it's loud.
Hmm.
I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, the Zoom noise canceling is so good.
Yeah.
Because like I can't even when I stand next to it, you guys are on full volume and I can't even hear you talking.
Large dog.
Is it because it's sucking air in, or is it just sound like an airplane?
We ask that about your mama all the time.
I don't know. It is sucking air in.
Come on.
But the sound that you're worried about, is it a sucking sound, or is it
Oh, that's
like
too easy.
an airplane propeller sound? I'm trying
A
to
little
get
bit of
this
everything.
down.
All right, so being
Well,
serious and not making terrible jokes about your mama is your fan? Are you worried, Smash, that your fan's going old, or what's the problem?
it's loud to him.
Hmm.
He's
Honestly, a
worried
lot of those
about the
fans are
noise.
loud. I have to be frank. I have the fan behind me turned down fairly low. As it gets warmer in the summer, unless we turn on the air conditioning, I'm definitely going to have to turn the fan up, and it's going to be a little bit annoyingly loud for the show. When I did the show, what, I don't know, last fall or something, when it was warm, man, I could hear it. Maybe you couldn't, but I could hear the whole fucking time. And mind you, that's an AC Infinity fan, which is pretty fucking quiet, about as quiet as they come right now.
Wow.
Can fans, the really nice Max fans that are made in Germany, those fuckers, they're made for constant use and everything else, but they are loud. They're real loud. So
Yeah, I think what's gonna end up having to happen is I'm gonna just put it on a timer and have it turn on when the lights go on.
I mean, constant
Here's some.
ventilation is important. How big of a deal is that sound? Does it keep you from sleeping? Does it what's the problem?
It's just you can hear it upstairs, and that's
Oh, I
annoying.
gotcha. Well, that's part of the grower's paradox, dude. You end up having all kinds of annoyances that you just kind of get used to. It's kind of like having a dog. Like you can either be clean or have a dog, right? Like you give up a lot of cleanliness basically if you want to have a dog in your life. Same thing when you give a lot of conveniences for your garden, like You can no longer take 10-day vacations. You can no longer freaking leave the house without worrying. You know what I mean? You can no longer have a perfectly silent house, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. A low electrical
So
bill, et cetera.
this an intake or exhaust fan?
I mean, does it matter?
Yes,
Yeah.
It's going. It's sucking
blowing
from the
air.
basement into the room.
Okay,
Into
so
the grow
you're
room.
using your basement as a lung room, pulling it into there. Okay, I'm taking that you don't have any piping on the other side in the room. It's just basically the end of the fan blowing into the room.
There is a little bit of piping. It's probably like a foot.
Okay, you need to be a little bit longer than that. Okay, what you're trying to do is muffle the sound. Now, on the intake where it's bringing air in, if it's feeding through a 6-inch tube, that could cause another air noise problem. And usually that's why you see over top of stoves the big hoods, and drawing all that air from a bigger area actually cuts down on the noise.
Yeah, I
And
just put.
extending on the exhaust side a pipe like 2 feet of that plastic, that will deaden a lot of your sound. But you
So I
need
just
like
put.
2 feet, not a foot.
This one's only a 4-inch, I think. But if I put it up to it, it is helping with the sound. I do have some 6-inch, so I'm probably gonna add some 6-inch to the back side.
I think your mama.
It sounds like you may have to live with your a little bit of noise then. And what I would do is
I
I
mean, you
put
can
something on the ceiling,
like you were saying,
insulation.
Captain, you can basically muffle the fan. Essentially, that'll help a lot. So, for example, if you were to put a charcoal filter on it, that'll basically a muffle on the one side, and then you
Yeah,
could put potentially a foam exhaust even on the other side, and that'll muffle the other side. Um, they make expensive muffling
HEPA
boxes,
filter.
the fucking Shroom or Shroom or something. Dust Shroud. I've always wanted one, but they're dumb expensive. Like $100 for a 6-inch, and I think the 8-inch is like $150. It's dumb. Uh, Brilliant concept, stupid pricing. You can build your own fan box, honestly. You could buy a whole nice charcoal filter for the same price with ample CFM. Make sure that you have enough CFM that goes through the fan so you're not restricting it. But yeah, that'll muffle it a lot. And then other than that, you could put the whole fucking thing in a honestly, if it were a big enough
Towel.
problem, you could put
Wrap
it
it
in
in a
a.
towel.
I was just going to say, you could literally build a muffle box around it or just insulate it, put fiberglass insulation around it. That'll help a lot. Make sure it's a quality fan. I don't know. It's kind of iffy to put a fan. I don't know. What do people in the chat think about this? Basically, putting something like a fan in insulation. Are you playing with fire with like like an actual fire,
Here,
or is that safe?
I'm gonna show the garden off real quick. I gotta head out.
Go for it.
My
Well, a
lights
lot
just
of
turned.
times, I'm
My
sorry.
lights just turned on.
Later.
Everything's looking good. What is this? Did I drool on my plant? Oh no, I know what it is. Okay. Yeah, looking good. Everything's
How can that be?
everything's really getting to flower.
We're taking those suckers right now. This is a soul. This is a soul.
Yeah.
We need to attach a butane thing to it or a bigger.
I gotta head out. I hope everyone has a good day.
Later, Smash.
Be safe.
Later, Smash.
Wow. Well, doesn't read it. Sorry.
Oh, my internet is always freaking unstable. I'm always getting these messages. My internet is freaking unstable. It's ridiculous. Anyway. Well, boys and girls, ladies and germs, I think this is probably going to be a short show because it looks like some of the usual suspects are not hopping on. So we'll see, unless we'll call this last call because unless a bunch of folks hop on here in the next few minutes, we'll probably end up calling it in a bit.
Your
So
participation will determine how long the show goes.
pretty
So
much,
you
that's
jump
exactly it.
on, we can keep going. I'm up for a little bit if people want to jump on, but we need you guys to jump on.
Captain doesn't want to talk to himself, ladies and germs, so hop on here if you want to enjoy the conversation.
I do that enough.
I guess in a few minutes here, I'll probably go show that. Well, the lights are probably on now. I'll go check. Talk amongst.
So, am I the only one here? Kinda. So, hopefully in September, there will be a website that you can go and watch plants basically grow and veg. You can watch clones grow. Yeah, we don't have a cultivation license for Ohio, so we can't cultivate, but we may be doing something in Michigan because we may get blocked with doing seeds in Ohio. So we may have to do a facility in Michigan, which will be a Class C license, which is a 2,000 plant grow, just to make seeds. But hey, I get a pretty good discount in Michigan. Even if you just had a felony, you could get like 40% off a Class 3C license. And I think that's cool. Now, get this. Ohio has the same equity setup as Michigan does, kind of. They're actually going to be giving people money to people instead of a discount. But all the licensing is already going to be gone by the time they figure out who's eligible for this money. So when this money is available to the people that were affected by cannabis when it was illegal, aren't going to be able to use it in any way because all the license that the state of Ohio is said that they're going to give out have already been given out or they're about to be. And they also just passed this nice little bill that, oh, well, to make things easier, we're going to allow companies that own a grow facility and own dispos, instead of being two different companies and having them pay two different taxes, we're going to allow them to merge together under one parent company. This way, they don't have to pay as much in taxes.
By the way, please hold. I'm going to go into the other room and connect my headphones and all that nonsense and show the garden a little bit. So just a minute. And I hope D is still co-host. Oh, there's a fucking echo here. Sorry about that. Yep, he is. Okay. So please hold.
So I thought that was some interesting stuff. I hope you guys did too. definitely shows you how they're built for big business. I want a refund on all the tickets I paid for possession. The driving under suspension, because you gave me a drug abuse charge instead of a possession ticket, which suspends your license in Ohio. There we go. Now we just
There we
need
go.
some sound.
Oh, right. I should probably turn it sideways like we always tell everybody. That was a laugh riot yesterday. This is, where is it? It's hard to freaking aim in this little picture. Okay, I'll actually make this bigger. Can I make this bigger? I don't know, make this bigger. That's what she said. Man, why would that? There we go. A little bit crispy, but what can I tell you? That's Oaxacan Thunderfuck. You can see less crispy, but more frosty. Nugs are decent size, so this is definitely not the best that Oaxacan Thunderfuck can do. But I'm finally happy that I'll have some nice pictures that I can actually put on the website. She smells delightful and everything else. So she definitely didn't enjoy the move very much, but thankfully I have a nice clone of her, so her nice mother, so she will return. The one that I'm really happy about, honestly, is this Sour Morgana. This thing is, in my opinion, 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10. She's tall as fuck. This is, I haven't measured it, but it's easily 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". It's way up there.
Holy shit!
And nugs all the way down to the ground. Honestly, I'm really pleasantly surprised about this. So, and these are really decent sized nugs, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, real happy about this one. Very resilient. This is basically the Sour Morgana mom crossed to Black Prince Ruby. Oh, some beautiful leaves actually on the other side. Let me I can show you that. See that color? It's got some of that Morgana color for sure. But definitely because Sour Morgana herself is a green phenotype, definitely these focus on the green phenotypes. I'm also really pleased with this surf grape. This is literally just one of the seeds that I popped. It wasn't really I didn't select it or anything. This wasn't some big process of looking through that. I was just curious, oh, what's the deal with surf grape? And I think I have a few other seedlings in the veg tent. So this one was basically just one of them, but I'm loving the structure. The smell is pungent, but at this one anyway is very coot special leaning. This one's also nice and tall. This one actually might be a little bit taller than the Sour Morgana. So easily 6'5" or 6'3", 6'5". I need to just fucking measure it one of these days. This banana cream cake is really delightful. This is not something I've bred, but it's definitely crispy. So don't freaking yell at me. But this is a tester run basically. So I was curious what everything can do and everything else. Anyway, it's very pungent. I got this clone from Archive and it really performs super well. So very much recommended. I've really only ever gotten very few bad clone, not even bad, honestly. Just I've only ever really gotten good clones from Archive. So if you guys are in the area, I would always recommend them. That's Triple Burger. Speaking of Archive, spectacular. They didn't breed it, but basically they sell the clone, so it's easy enough to find. And if you lose it, like I did, you can get it again, like a jerk off. So it's pretty nice. Anyway, what else we're going to show you? Oh, that's something secret. That's something Bud sent me. So can't tell you what that is yet. Super nice for what it's worth. Anyway, I think that was it. Let's see, is there anything else to show you?
That cream one sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's going to be some nice smoke, honestly. And it's certainly pruning this one a little bit better. Like this one didn't perform quite as well as Morgana all the way down, but pruning this a little bit better right at the top of the canopy. This one super, super well. So there's going to be some nice yield on this. This is definitely some cookies genetics and stuff. There's going to be some real nice nuts off of this one. So I'm pleasantly happy with that one too. I guess I can say one of the, well, I don't remember which one that one it is, but one of the ones in the back there is ice cream cake. Or wait, yeah, ice cream cake, which is actually
Nice.
stunning. Honestly, people sometimes complain about it, but really a nice plant. So anyway, but yeah, I can't get over this freaking Sour Morgana. This is the one of them that I basically popped, and this is the number three. Ran her again, and goodness gracious! And actually, the only reason that I was able to run her again is because she was so good at cloning. Because I had so many disasters in the garden when I was in Israel that I only have very few of the freaking ones that I even selected for left. I have the number five. I have this one. I think I have one more, but I had plenty of clones of this one because it's so adept at cloning. So anyway, probably going to breed with this in the future, I hope. So, and it's also really got nice smoke. In terms of the smoke, it was probably the closest to the mom too. So that's one of the nicest features. And in the structure too, very similar. Basically, I guess I keep forgetting to say, like in the structures, he's very similar to her mom, just bigger, faster, stronger, which is honestly kind of my idea for growing the Saddle Morgana out anyway, really, or doing anything with it, because I really wanted to pass that trait on to other people. It's such awesome flower and such an awesome experience that I thought it would be super cool to have other people enjoy it. So anyway, with any luck, that will be the case. So we'll see in the future.
Yeah, the sour.
Anyway, that's it. Okay, now how do I? What's that, D?
The sour Morgana is really good. I like it. I've had it a couple times from different people. Yeah, and ice cream cake is good too. I like ice cream cake. Cheers,
Right,
everybody.
I'll go to the other computer.
Cheers, everybody in chat while Fumi switches over. St. Pete, Al, Poor Pizza Dave in the house. What's going on? Miss Chronic, J5. Oh, Johnny 5 is still alive. Al, everybody in chat, what's going on? Hope everyone's having a great day. Come hop on. I think this is the last call. I'm not sure. Yes,
Well,
ice
if
and
we
cake.
get some more people.
Another good one was
now's the shot, ladies and gentlemen. If you want the show to continue, but it's now or never, pretty much. I have to do some errands and then come back and harvest and all that kind of stuff. So
nice.
We'll see. Bigger, faster, stronger, just like your mama. That's it. You're not wrong. Al Telescope Uranus says, I'll give cookies props. They do select good phenos. Not wrong at all. Thank you, Poor Pizza Dave. I appreciate it. Oh, look at that. Miss Chronic's in the house. Welcome, Miss Chronic. Good to see you. That probably means that Crime War is somewhere to be seen. Welcome, Crime Wars. SO Organics in the house. What's going on, buddy?
He's lurking.
I figured you might enjoy it, SO. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, hopefully in this location, I'll at least be able to show the garden a lot more. So,
nice.
We'll see exactly what the future holds in terms of how I plan the garden. Basically, I'm thinking about in the middle of the summer, I'm probably just going to do outdoor. Maybe I'll be able to do a little bit of indoor too, because at least with, I guess no one ever really wants to be specific, but with the way that I'm allowed to grow a few more plants. So I could potentially grow some outdoors and some indoors. Still,
awesome.
My concern is, not as many as you. Holy cow! Some of you Canadians can grow. I think you can grow 100 plants in flower and da da da. Lucky devil. Anyway, but still, better than the average bear. I guess we'll just put it that. What was I trying to say? What's that, D?
We're not allowed to grow the way you grow, though. It's either indoor or outdoor.
Well, that sucks. Well, what can you do? Luckily, I can grow at the same time. If I'm within the numbers, I could be growing at the same time, basically indoors and outdoors. Fucking under the house, over the house, doesn't matter. Well, I guess not over the house. You're not really
on the roof.
To let people see it. Yeah, I guess if you'd have to like obscure it somewhat, because oh my God, shield my eyes from the fucking devil plants. Anyway, whatever. It's so fucking stupid. Anyway, so we'll see. But because of the electrical costs and everything else, it might not be economical to grow full garden in the summer. So it might just be a better idea to do outdoors and focus on that. So that's perfectly reasonable. Plus, maybe it'll give me a chance to focus on bigger plants. I definitely want to do the outdoors again, so that's not a question. So we'll see. I haven't decided exactly yet, but I'm thinking maybe I'll get to do at least one more indoor run before the summer comes, and then, of course, hopefully back in the winter. We'll just be back indoors again. What was I going to say? Yeah, it's a learning curve, like anything. This is the first time that I've grown. Like I say, we've grown outdoors once or twice in a couple different spaces, but first time I've grown in this kind of open space indoors, basically a grow room, right? I didn't even really have a chance to set it up. I mean, you guys probably saw it's a fucking garage. There's stuff, there's paper towels and whatever along the walls. So we certainly need to organize a little bit more as time goes by. And I'm definitely losing yield on the sides, which is always maddening to me. That's one of the nicest things about tents is you can have that fucking even edge to edge canopy. Honestly, that was something I really prided myself of just an edge to edge every single square in the freaking net covered with at least a few grams of weed, right? Anyway, you can't really accomplish that in an open space, but you get to have cooler, more interesting plants. Look how tall some of those plants got, right? Actually, all the plants really got huge. So it's nice to be able to turn them around and everything. And I'll show you guys probably in the future, maybe, how I have everything set up so I can actually move the plants around and stuff. I think it's a little bit unusual. Look at that, Salt and Sea Seeds hopped on. Maybe the show lives yet. We'll see. But yeah, I think people are very closed-minded in many cases about how they grow, and I think there's a lot of ways to open that up. And it just never fails to agitate me, honestly, on some level that I hear people, cheers, Salt and Sea Seeds, but I'm annoyed when I hear people say, "Oh, you can't get the yield that you can with salts," and I'm like, based on what? Based on fresh soil that you just mixed, blah 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 blah. That's not really organic soil. That's just soil that you didn't put salts in. Really, that's all it is. Organic soil is something that's actually actively breaking itself down with microbial activity, and that honestly usually takes quite a while, unless you have some magical fucking vermicompost. Even then, if you put the whole thing is half vermicompost, it's still going to take a while. Let's show off Salt and Sea Seeds garden. There we go.
Yeah, looks it up. Plastic is looking good.
Holy shit.
Please. Yeah, the plastic's a little shredded from the hurricane still on this side,
Dang.
but it still works pretty good because the wind flow helps it a lot.
Hmm.
Brought some cuttings out here. I got to get some cuttings from out here off of these plants once I get them bug free, but sulfur should take care of everything. Found this plant down here. Smells like a J5, like a J5 420. Jesus Christ. Like J1 runs.
Hmm.
Or
Oh,
like a J1.
Johnny Park.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Oh, stuck on my chain.
Do
Yeah,
you
that little-
have plants in the house already, Robert?
Oh yeah, I have. I showed them last night on
Okay.
here. Yeah. Then I got that's the
Well,
papaya plant I was talking about last night on the show. That's really tall. Looking for just being out here in the middle of the desert. Yeah. Got my papaya coming in. More of the Mendel breath. Banana God from all the F2s. So those were what Buddy Kilowatt gave me. Popped 5 of them. One of them popped up. Little
Right on.
baby. And some more
that'd
volunteers.
be nice
Gotta
to
get
pop
the
like 200 and go hunt.
Yeah, found some more volunteers on this side. I gotta get some stuff in this, more soil in here. It looks like it's missing soil from the last couple winds.
Hold on.
Oh, there's my blind dog. Sheesh. Here's my blind baby. Probably looking for him because he smells me. Hey, baby. Say hi to everybody. Hi.
What's up, puppy dog?
Aww.
That's the greenhouse right now. Super windy out here. I came out here.
Rich is nice and warm though. Fuck.
Just a little golf cart. Fucking rats are starting to get to the wiring, so I gotta do something about that fast.
Look at that thing. Looks like a souped up golf cart.
Yeah, it was a trade-in, I think, from my dad. It's like the only present he gave me. Yeah, best present I could play have. And move it back out.
That's slick.
Man, I'd be
I want a freaking
cruising
golf
that
cart.
down the
God
road.
damn. Well, I couldn't really go anywhere with it, but I still want one.
Yeah, no, they're fun. You can make them street legal. This is not street legal anymore. I guess they took off the seat belts to put on a different cart or whatever. But it had the spots where they went into.
So if you ride it on the street, you're a rebel.
Yeah, well, where I live, no, you can ride anything on the
Outlaw.
streets. But on the city streets, yeah, you need a front and back license plate that they make you put on there and all that stuff. All that good jazz. My boy, it's supposed to be for me taking the blind dog out, but he's afraid of it. So doesn't help me take him nowhere because it's definitely afraid of it. It's on my pots. I got blowed over just right now. Had them all stacked up. Fucking rats ate these ones. Fucking rodents ate my fabric pots, bro.
Fucking rodents.
I gotta take care of that.
You need some kitty cats.
Yeah, seriously. Need some cats. And that was some of the crickets too. When I pulled it out there was a stack of them right there, like thousands of crickets popped out. So yeah,
Just need some kitty cats that have big balls enough to deal with all those doggies. Because Green Fingers, how many freaking dogs do you have?
Probably 10.
Yeah.
I say probably
It's gonna
10.
be, it's gonna be a
Really?
pretty ballsy cat. There are some
Yeah.
like that.
I had 2 cats like that before. One
Holy
that was found by the blind dog, and I wish I still had him. But when we moved, like they want to go back to the old house type shit.
Huh.
So we went back to home.
How interesting. Cat was like, "Well, I know you, but I live here."
Yeah,
Hairhead.
that one's supposed to be fire. I guess it was jealousy times something else. I forgot what the cross was.
Right on.
But I found some bugs in there, so I had to bring them outside.
Probably
We
Jack
weren't
Hare or
even-
something, huh? Yeah. That'd
I'm
be a
not
good
even
cross.
sure. Still, because you can see where the spider mites were. Got rid of them. Hit them once. See little white spots. That shit killed me.
Motherfucking
Obviously,
spider
gonna
mites.
go and get ready to make just some seeds out of them. But when you have 6 different cuttings that have to go outside, now I have to make different seeds. So I got to get rid of all these dead plants, pull those down, and then get planting for this year. Get all this trash out of here. All the boxes that didn't break down. Yeah, I got a lot of work to do in here since the last hurricane with that corner. And then it shredded
Yeah,
all
go in and take a cutting, and as you're rooting it, treat it for the mites and everything, and that way you can isolate it from the bigger plant that has more mites on it. That may be a better viable option.
I mean, shooting it with the water pressures like every day pretty much got rid of most of them. It's just the damage now. Like you can see the fresh new growth. It's got nothing on it yet, but the growth underneath it's full of fucking dead spots. Oh, I just released fucking thousands of fucking. So I'll put this in a bucket. Right in my face. All the seeds. I'll put that in the bucket and feed it back to the plants for nitrogen.
Well, boys and girls, if you want to keep going, I can make one of you guys host. What do you want to
do? You can keep me gone as host for a while since Robert joined on.
Make host with the oh wait, do you want me to make some of you co-host first? Here, I'll make Fingers co-host.
It's so windy out here.
There we go. And Captain Faux 20 is co-host. Nice. I realize I'm patting myself on the back there, but it's still I find it funny. Anyway, ladies and germs, I honestly have to do some errands and stuff like that, so I should probably bounce. Even as amusing as it is to see Green Fingers Garden, because actually we rarely get to see that. What are those, by the way, Green Fingers?
fig cuttings that one of my
Fig?
friends
Oh, cool.
figs. And one's gonna make it. You can see totally it's got branches and
So weird. When I was a kid, I hated figs and like literally hated them. I was like felt militant against figs. Now I actually really like them.
yeah, I love them. They're my
I was an
favorite.
anti-figist.
I've never had a fig.
Really? Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh, they're a really unique. They're actually not a fruit. They're a flower that's turned inwards, but
Yeah.
they're effectively a fruit. Basically, that's how you kind of eat them.
I
They're
want
all
to
like
try.
kind of juicy inside. You can dry them out really well. They
Yeah,
basically come from the Mediterranean, I think.
Mhm.
Anyway,
good stuff.
oh wait, I can unspotlight you so that you. Oh, wait, no, I'm not the host anymore, so I can't make you. I can't unspotlight you. Sorry, Green Fingers, you're spotlighted forever.
Some aloe vera, beautiful flowers. Aloe vera. Love that.
Nice.
Okay,
Had
yeah,
some
then I have.
2 years
Big,
ago, seeds came off of these when they didn't blow up, but they turned into seed pods, which
Huh.
freaked me. I was like, "What the
No
fuck?
shit.
I didn't know there was seed pods."
Right?
Yeah, like this one's gonna make a
I
seed
mean,
pod.
wow, aloe is a fucking fertile plant. Holy shit. Like
That
anyone
one
that
right
knows
there.
if they have an aloe, like,
Look at that,
oh, yes.
turning into one.
this medicine.
I was gonna
Fucking
say they grow
It
so
gives
readily.
off
Holy crap.
babies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives off babies like
it gives
crazy.
off
Yeah.
pups anyways, right? Like thousands of them. So I pulled these pups off, put them in here, and those were inside. They did not want to be inside the house at all. So toxic in the house or something. But the plants grow good in there, but these ones did
But
not.
cannabis smoke.
Right?
Uh,
Yeah, it's a desert out here. Dirty desert.
Get
Gotta
jiggy
still
with it.
smell that. So, right. It's getting windy. I guess I could throw some cactus real quick. So,
Hey, is
Oh, does
that the
anyone
good
know
kind?
about what's that, D?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, does anyone know about prickly pears? So I had a real nice prickly pear. I bought it really just last year in the spring, I want to say, but it grew really well through the summer and honestly continued thriving through the fall. Unfortunately, a friend was not paying attention and pulled out all the cover crop from the pot, and not long after that, the prickly pear ended up basically dying at the bottom because it was outside. And I guess we had all these super cold freezes. Maybe it messed up the root system. I don't know what happened. But long story short, it was doing fine, and then it just absolutely freaking died off. It at the top had 5 different sections, so I've saved like the 4 or 5 different top sections. Can I just plant those in some soil and let it root? Like for example, the aloe, I could literally do that. I'm wondering if I can do that with prickly pear. If anybody has any experience, please let me know.
I have no idea. I don't know if you can do that or if you have to stick in water first with the root.
Yeah, they're
I don't
kind
know.
of, I mean, they're fairly bulky chunks. Like each chunk is probably the size of this freaking dab rig. So it's a little
Oh,
awkward to put in water, right? I mean, I can do
yeah.
it, I guess, but it'd be easier if I could just put it in some reasonably moist soil.
Hmm.
We'll
yeah,
see.
I think you could set it on some soil and roots might pop. Or that's what happened to the last cactus I just set on.
Would you
Okay.
say green fingers?
I just set the cactus down. Is it a piece of cactus itself,
Uh-huh.
or is it just
Yeah, yeah.
yeah? Just set it on the soil itself sideways, and the roots will pop out of the bottom of it,
Oh,
and then
okay.
once it's established.
And sideways, not like bottom
Yeah,
down or
you could
something.
do it straight in too, but when it in nature, when they do just chop off sideways, like a lot of the ones I had on the homestead, I'd have to go pull them out of the ground because the roots had already started. So
Gotcha.
like,
That
yeah,
makes
so the
sense because
root,
probably when they fall off, I mean, they're
yeah,
flat. That's probably the idea is they actually fall flat somehow. Yeah. All
yeah,
right. I hadn't thought of that.
yeah, that should work.
Nathaniel Chambers says my cactus will all root if you put it in the soil. It just takes a while. Right on. Okay. Uh, Altos Cabrera says,
Pineapple.
I thought the rules were don't be a prickly pear, don't show your prickly pear. I mean, that's fair. Just be fair, don't show your prickly pear. Nice. That would make a good t-shirt, honestly. I should write that down. Just be fair, don't show your prickly pear.
Ooh, I got some nice, speaking of pears, I got some nice Bosch pears upstairs. They're really good.
Nice.
Oh, you're all on mute,
I've always
Stulps.
liked pear.
There we go.
Nathaniel Chambers says that's how they propagate, one of the ways. Yeah, it makes sense now. Never really thought about how a cactus, how does it, when two cactuses get it on in the desert, do they make a sound? And how do they avoid the thorns? Gosh, these questions and
Well,
more on
someone's
Feed
Grandpa,
Tomorrow.
take a
definitely
prick.
getting poked.
That's it. That's what your mama said.
Ah,
Uh, ladies and germs. So feel free to hop on the show. It looks like it's continuing for a little bit. I got to go finish up that tagine and then honestly bounce because as fun as this
oh,
is talking about your mama's prickly pear, I should get that done. So thanks very much for joining the show. I'm going to hand it off to these guys, so never fear, it's not ending here abruptly. But enjoy the show, ladies and germs. Feel free to hop on if you guys have never been on the show before. Feel free to hop on. This is the right time to do so. Pretty much that's what I'm hoping to accomplish. I'll take pictures later. It's not going to actually be that because I don't have any preserved lemons right now, but we'll see. I probably need to go to the grocery store, get some ginger and stuff, so I need to hurry. Fuck was I trying to say? Visit Fumidoro, ladies and gentlemen. Fumidoro.com is the website. Not blah, 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 but Fumidoro.com, ladies and germs. You could also type fumesofgold.com. It'll take you to the same place. Go take a look at the merch, of course. We have a number of t-shirts available, some coffee cups, all that kind of stuff. Of course, if you guys would like some other merch, please just let me know. I'm going to be adding, hopefully in the near future, some more strains, and so of course some more shirts and all kinds of stuff. So just let me know. I hope in the near future to actually get the photos back on the site because people have actually been asking about that. And most importantly, I would very much like to get some of the photos on t-shirts and stuff. That's actually somewhat easy to do. I just haven't had time to do it because unfortunately to this day, my photo collection is still a fucking jumbled garbage mess. I don't know if I told you, but I had all these drive corruptions when I moved and stuff. Anyway, neither here nor there.
Can I
Go
can
ahead,
I
Captain.
ask a question,
Go
Fumi?
for it. Go for it.
The shirts, when you go to have those made up, are you going to have like a gross of them, 144 shirts?
Oh, no, no. The shirts
And
basically
if
get
you have,
mailed one at a time. So when you order it from the website,
okay,
they get shipped directly, basically. It's kind of print on demand.
okay,
Yeah.
it's print on demand. Okay.
Oh, no,
Because
I wish
being
I'd make a
over
lot more money
here,
if I, pre-printed them all that kind of stuff. But no, I don't really have that kind of budget at the moment. Maybe in the future, as I start to hopefully go to some more events and have my own tasting group, maybe I will buy a fucking, how much is it gross? 100 or is it 1,000? Holy shit, 1,000 t-shirts would be a
it's
lot.
104, 144.
That's still a lot. Oh my, that'd be a
It's
few
12
$100s.
dozen.
Yeah, it'd be a few $100s of t-shirts. Well, we'll see. Because I don't know if you can get them in different sizes and all that kind of stuff. We
Yeah.
have one size. It's extra, extra, extra large. I figured everybody would fit in this one. You can use it as a bed sheet if you want to, if it doesn't fit right. Fold it around yourself 3 times if you're a petite. I don't know. Just fucking get over it. Get over it, bitch. Jesus.
and you can
Uh,
use it for camping for a tent.
That's
Tent
it.
and
That's it. You got
Well,
farm animals, maybe. Put the farm animals in it. I don't know. Maybe you got 5 children. Put the 5 children in there. You just save yourself some money. I don't know why we're
since
speaking with a
I
southern accent suddenly. What's that, Captain?
since I've been over here, I've been able to collect some of the wholesalers and clothing manufacturers and hat manufacturers that manufacture for uh, oh God, the one ski company, uh, but Columbia and all these other and Major League Baseball hats that are fitted or snapbacks or whatever, you know, those hats and everything, if you order them through China, and some of them, you don't have to order like 500 or 1,000. You can order 50 pieces or 100 pieces. You can have them custom embroidered, everything like that for a couple dollars. And to see how much of a big markup there is, you know, from from here to the United States, even in the wholesale market, there's like a $6 to $7 markup, and at $6 to $7, that's an extra 2 or 3 pieces
Hmm.
that you could possibly have made up here. And like I said, it's the same companies that make for armor that make for Columbia, like their fleeces, just all the big names.
It's interesting when you talk about that because I just a few days ago, honestly, we were going to the beach and we drove by just because I guess I can't remember. We took some weird direction. Oh, we had to go to Costco or something, and we drove by Phil Knight's private fucking hangar and runway. I guess he has his own, not only a private hangar, but also his own private fucking runway. Because God forbid he shares a runway with the other rich people. Not even the fucking poor people, but the fucking rich people. You couldn't even possibly share it with them. Anyway, his fucking hangar has a glass. He has three planes and it has a glass freaking. It's not even a door because the door's on the other side. Because I mean, you have to actually be able to move the planes out because that door couldn't be glass. In other words, but the front of the air hangar that it should actually be the back by all accounts and all the other hangars are just concrete, whatever else. But his on the street side, it's glass, so that you can see his three fucking planes just sitting there. So you can see like, oh,
Who
he's so rich, he just has three planes just sitting around. Like
who are we talking about?
douchebag of Phil Knight, the founder of Nike. Just I mean, whatever. But basically, Nike famously exists basically because they offshored all their labor always to the cheapest possible source. So they've always,
Yep.
like, China's too expensive for Nike for the most part. It was always like the
Korea.
literal cheapest possible place they could get. And they've gotten a lot of criticism over the years for it. And I guess the criticism has gone away because they won, right? And when you look at Phil Knight, he is richer than fucking Jesus. Nobody talks about that shit anymore, but it's very interesting. And Columbia, for example, couldn't really compete with that business model. Columbia was founded in Portland too, actually, by Holocaust refugees, I believe, as it happens. Anyway, the Boyles still basically own or control the thing. I think it's public now, but anyway, I think the one of the Boyles is still like CEO. Anyway, they used to make their shit in Portland, Portland or Oregon City. I don't remember honestly, because when I was a little kid, I used to go to the factory store. Like a bunch of my friends, they'd go to the factory store and you could get crazy low prices on the freaking Columbia jackets. And they were really high quality. It's not to say that they're not high quality now. I think Columbia is known for decent quality still, but man, they were super like high quality with American made fabric and everything else. But they had to outsource it basically, probably in the mid 90s, because they couldn't possibly compete with companies like Nike and Adidas and all those companies that were offshoring everything to China. So interesting. Anyways, it's interesting to hear you talk about that and a very real example of how affordable it is to get the stuff from China, and that's even still getting it from middlemen, right? Because obviously we're not paying the full the full we're not paying the factory cost for those t-shirts. We're paying the distribution cost at or even the distributors to the distributors cost. Honestly, like you were talking about, kind of
But
interesting.
when you're buying from here in China, you're actually buying from the company that
Mm,
makes it for Colombia.
mm,
So you are buying directly from the manufacturer.
mm,
And a lot of people, like I said, think that you have to order 1,000 pieces. Well, they had the Columbia fleece vest on, and the guy said, well, what if I wanted to do a small test run? And the lady said, well, it would be 50 items. And she gets out her calculator and she says, you want this embroidered, and it costs you $21 a piece. Well, they're like $80 in the store for a Columbia fleece vest. So, even a small company, you spend $1,000 and you've got 50 pieces to give away. So you make sure all your employees have them. But if
There
you
are
can
some
buy
printing companies
hats for
around
like,
Portland too, so I need to check. Because for $21 for a shirt, that's a fair amount, honestly. Like I could order from my website for
a,
less than $20 for a shirt. So
a
I wonder. I haven't even
fleece
really looked into it.
vest,
Oh, sorry, I
a
wasn't thinking about a
fleece
fleece. That's a good
vest.
point. Yeah, that's probably
Yes.
too much. Yeah.
The t-shirts you can get embroidered like polo style 3 button down t-shirts for like $3,
Huh.
$4.
Yeah, that would be low price. That's definitely
Yeah.
lower than the price on my website. That's for sure. Because I make a couple bucks per shirt. Honestly, I don't make all that much money on those the merch there. But
Well,
on
the
even
company that sells you the shirt is making
oh,
six,
I'm
seven
sure. I'm
dollars
sure.
on
No,
that
I'm sure.
shirt.
Yeah, yeah, no, I'm sure. But this is not a question of it. But whatever. You pay for convenience, that's what it is.
Hmm.
Uh, which used to be the business model for places like McDonald's and stuff, right? But these days, gosh, you are really paying for convenience. Somebody posted, oh, D, I think you're muted. Somebody posted a receipt from Subway the other day on Reddit, and it was a foot-long sandwich with extra steak. So granted, they did get extra steak, but still, like a lot of people get extra meat on their
15.
sandwich because especially Subway is known for being really miserly on the fucking meat, right? They'll give you 4 olives unless you ask for more, like 4 olive slices, literally. Like that's not even a full olive. When you think of it, a full olive is probably 5 or 6 slices, and they give you 4 slices of olive. It's not even one olive. Anyway, but basically you're asking for more steak and then a drink. It was like a Pepsi or whatever. It was a medium drink. It was $22 for fucking Subway. They used to be $5 foot long, and now it's $22 for a foot long with a little bit of extra steak and a drink. The fucking ass balls. And McDonald's is apparently the same. Big Mac meal is like $19 or some shit. I mean, like I'm not even exaggerating. It's literally that price. The
Yeah,
fuck?
it really is.
Oh my God. Anyway, whatever. I
I
wouldn't pay that
walked
kind of money for
away.
McDonald's. What's that, Kevin?
I walked. I walked away from a Subway because at the airport
I
because
don't know how they're
just
still
like
in
you
business.
said,
I just don't know.
it was like $15.
Oh,
And
it's
I'm like,
ridiculous.
wait a second,
And everyone
I
remembers
know
what
I'm at
Subway is
the
like, right? It's not the best sandwiches, right? Like in a best case scenario, it's a great franchise that cares and whatever, but they still have to get their shit from Subway. So even if the sandwich people love sandwiches, they still have to get, that's the scam basically, is that Subway sells them all their materials. So whether they like it or not, they have to buy all the bread, all the fucking, by the way, their bread is not even classified as bread in many countries. It's actually so sugary that it's classified as cake in many fucking countries. Anyway, so their cake bread and their lunch
Huh.
meat and all this different stuff you have to buy from Subway at huge markups, of course. That's how McDonald's makes a lot of money too. Anyway, I'm going to bounce because, of course, these interesting conversations never stop. Gentlemen, enjoy the conversation. Hop on and join the conversation, folks. You are more than welcome. And, of course, visit fumidora.com. By the way, I never finished talking about, I am serious about this. I wanted to have a German show, and I was thinking about just starting it, basically, and just, fucking doing it. But I was like, oh, man, there's actually people in the community that speak German. Maybe that would be funner, honestly, to have a little bit of a panel show kind of like this. And the idea probably to have it somewhere around this time so that in Germany it's 9 o'clock, something like that. So it's a reasonable time for you guys. Maybe we'll do an hour and a half, something like that. Not a huge long thing. I'm super rusty with my fucking German, so it's going to take a while for me to come back and speak fluently. And so it'd be super helpful, folks, if anybody in the community actually did, because I know there's a few of you guys that, I've had some customers and stuff. So if you know somebody in the community who
Actually,
is
I'm trying
German
to
who would like
slumper.
to, what's that, D?
Actually, I'm trying to just slumper.
I can't understand a single fucking word you're saying other than scheisse. Anyway,
and
maybe I'm just so rusty that I can't understand.
Christoph is going, why didn't you have one French? God damn it. I've been on the
Because
show
France
so
hasn't gone
long.
legal yet, and also my French is kind of terrible. I did take 2 years in college, but my French is not very good. You've heard me speak French, and that's granted pretty rusty, but my French is not that great.
Better than mine.
Uh, well, okay, but well, no, you learned French in college, or not college, high school, no?
No, I skipped that.
No.
Fuck that.
Oh, I thought they held a gun to every Canadian and forced you to learn French, point of death or something. I'm joking. But
Point of
anyway, no, it'd be fun to have a French show one day. Holy crap, it'd be fun to have an Italian show, a French show, all kinds of different stuff. But little by little, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, though, seriously, I am serious. Seriously, I am serious. It's wonderful English. Just think how our German is going to be. We're going to do a German show, whether you guys like it or not. That's a very German thing to do. In the meantime, we're going to have a fun time. Fuck, maybe every once in a while, I was just thinking how fun it would be to cook German food every once in a while. I don't know, schnitzels and shit. German schnitzel's not exactly German, but it'd be fun to cook Austrian German food. And have some grill outs or whatever else. That'd be pretty fucking fun too. So, ladies and Germans, hop on the show if you guys are German. Let me know. Email me at fumidor@chronictable.com. DM me on Discord if you're a member of the Discord, because we actually have a couple German members in the Discord. And otherwise, I don't know, maybe contact us telepathically. No, I'm joking. To talk to D, or if you're not a member of the Discord, just say something in the chat. We'll be happy to give you a link. Talk to one of the moderators, Bud Kilowatt, D Zombie. Those guys will probably help you out. And I would very much like to get this going. So, L Telescope Uranus, yeah, man, they wonderful fucking name. I cannot get over that name. They just turned legal. Can you believe it? Al Telescope Uranus medical started on April 1st, so a couple days now already. You can chief weed legally. I think you're still supposed to be really private about it and stuff. So the rules are very typically German, somewhat restrictive. I think Bud Kilowatt said it was 3 plants. What can you do, right? Like we can all kind of shake our head in silence, but it's better than nothing, and it's a big fucking step. So congratulations to everybody in Germany that gets to have medical weed now, and congratulations to Germany for actually moving the fucking needle a little bit. So anyway, ladies and germs, I'm going to bounce here, and the show is yours. There, Gators. Cheers, D. Cheers, everybody.
Later, Fumi.
Cheers.
Okay. Good stuff. Sheesh.
What you smoking on, Robert?
I'm not smoking. I'm trying to break up some weed. My scissors are stuck in the back of my phone. There you go. Got nowhere to set this. My other phone's up there charging. I don't want to stay up.
That's,
That's what she said.
that's not what she said.
It stays up too long and it's too hard. That's what she said. Dang it. Bring
I
it back
know
up.
you took
I feel
pill.
attacked by
I
that
know you
comment that you
took
guys just
pill.
made. I'm feeling attacked by that comment. No. I'm
The
smoking
girls
extreme
over
cream.
here. I'm
Extreme
sorry.
cream. No, I just said I'm smoking extreme cream. I had to go to the fridge and shut it. I guess I left it open earlier. Bad. Fucking bad. I don't remember. I don't remember going to the fridge. Oh,
No,
fuck
he's
all the
not.
flies. Excuse my French. Get in here, guys. Oh, there's a doggy door. You don't have to get in here. Fuck. Stay out there.
Later.
Go. Stay. Doggy door. They can go walk around. There's like thousands of flies right now. I should. Once the temperature flips like this, no good to keep your front door open because they're looking for a cold place too. So, just gotta get some weed out of it.
Oh, shit.
Handle breath banana god.
Oh,
Chunks. Chunkers. They're all bottom branches. Like the bottoms are smallest.
I
nice.
need to smoke something different.
Flip around. It's the easy. Those are smaller notes. The smaller notes.
Godfather. That's what we're going to smoke.
There's
I got
the
3
tiny-
grams of Godfather here.
Pimping ain't easy.
There's the smalls. And then that's probably one of the smallest branches. It's still chunky. Just the tip. Just the tip.
Oh,
Broke off all the middle and smoked that. That thing was fat right there. That was literally a chunker. Just a big old.
no.
Hold on. Pull something down from over here.
So do you like smoke all your like small stuff first and leave your big colas for like the last to smoke?
No.
No,
I
I
smoke
do.
one cola at a time. So I start at the bottom of it though, and then I'll smoke up to the top. There's a backpack full of genetics that Bud gave me, and then a bunch that I collected from my friends. It's got the secret in there, secret sauce.
Hmm.
Flip this thing around. I'm not trying to show you guys my house.
Too many secrets.
Too many secret sauce.
This actually
Fucking
smells good.
secret sauce does smell good.
I just rolled up mochi.
I'm gonna pop some Bodhi stuff next. Green Bodhi. Another hazy, pineapple hazy. Or the Romulan hazy.
Well, I like Romulan. That's a good one.
Once
Yeah,
I get these seeds back from someone in LA, I'll send you some of the banana pineapple Thai times OG seeds I have.
Nice. I can't talk when I trim. Sorry.
And
Oh,
then we've got two others that I think they were crossed with a pink haze or something. I know pink and haze was in the name. I don't know if there was another name with it or not. Like, I don't know if it was Pink Cadillac or Pink Panther or any of that shit.
pink panties.
pink. The pink.
Because I can never get a straight answer off the person. Like, I don't even know the name of the one that has the pineapple and banana turks to it. I don't know the name of that one. Ooh, that looks like a Godfather seed. That looks like two of them. Uh-oh. Better get the light out. Yeah, another one.
I definitely feel better if I was like. I always carry cannabis
Wow.
just in case.
1 gram of weed had 6 seeds in it.
Yeah.
This must have been near a door or an intake or something. Because this came from one of the farms that accidentally got pollinated with Thai. So it's going to be Godfather times some Thai.
Pimping ain't easy.
So we
So
got
you don't think
6
there's
more
no chance of
seeds.
banana? No chance of banana in there?
The pineapple turp is really good with when you can get the mixture, the pineapple and the banana together. Dude, I know I really don't care for citrus, but that pineapple, that's kind of a different citrus for me. It's a sweet citrus.
I had some nice, like I said the other day, banana kush that I've run out of now. But it was awesome. Banana, I love banana and watermelon strains.
Just she said. Oh,
There's a new watermelon out there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Rolex watermelon is what it came from or what it's called, maybe.
that cannabis plant or a watermelon plant?
Cannabis.
Okay, I was thinking the watermelon.
No, but I'm trying to get more seeds of the watermelons that they have here and bring them back.
Yeah, I love
I don't know if
watermelon.
I can get them
Oh,
dried out in time, though. because if you don't dry watermelon seeds out for a long time, you can put them in a plastic baggie in a 4-day mail trip. They mold up.
True.
Because I had 2 bags come back with me one time, and within a couple days, they just were all mold.
Oh,
But hey, they'll grow in Michigan. The weather there's fine for them. They're really sweet. And they grow in a really long vine. My friend was quite surprised on how many smaller watermelon there were actually on one vine. I know they were getting 20 some off of each of them. And they're probably, they're round, but they're really dense. So you probably get 6 pound, 7 pound watermelon. And they're like the size of a bowling ball. But they are sweet. They're juicy. They're meaty.
it might be called a sugar baby.
They may be just called non-fucked with genetics.
I got some watermelon upstairs.
Because I tell you what, it seemed like I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and it started getting colder in Florida. And we knew that because my aunt and my grandparents would go down every winter. But, it got really cold and they had like a blight in Florida. And I think they crossed like a grapefruit into the orange tree because everything seemed to have more of a sour citrus taste after like 1984, 85, 86. So when I go home and I grab like an orange, they don't taste good to me. They just taste citrus, no orange. Like watermelon are just basically water and no sweetness to it. The bananas that I get back in the States, holy shit, man. You literally have to let those sit for a week or two to ripen up.
Yeah, sugar babies, right on.
I was like, I have a pack. And you made me look for these things for the past 2 minutes. I've been scrambling. I'm like, you said it. I know I got some. I read it just yesterday.
That's awesome.
Scrambling. I must want to make scrambled eggs right now.
Small world. I'm getting hungry. I gotta find something to snack on real quick. Fuck. I'll be 2 seconds.
I just lit a joint. That'll take care of my hunger.
Yeah.
When I was a kid and I was getting high, I'd get the fucking munchies. I got to really start smoking pot, and basically within a couple years of smoking good pot, I didn't get the munchies anymore. Very rarely.
I know what I want. What's that battery at?
Now I'll be hungry and I'll smoke a joint, and maybe I just get too high and forget that I'm hungry. But, I smoke a joint, my hunger goes away.
No.
I have a question. If there was a lot more people on here, we'd have a lot more answers. But even the people out in chat, do you think that a lot of the new hype strains and new hot strains, do you feel that they're coming from hunting large selections of self plants? Or do you think people are actually doing all the work and doing male and female to lock in those characteristics or making special plants, which you do find in F2s? Because I have a feeling that most of the hype stuff is basically coming out of a lot of self plants.
Self like accidentally self or
I gotta go upstairs.
Okay. Copy?
Well,
No,
when
you-
there's stuff, when they're self to each other, you know, do you think more hot, more hype strains are coming out of that? Or people actually putting in the work and crossing this strain with this strain and then this strain to get this?
I think it could be a little
Hi,
bit
Moo.
both, a little bit of both pop up to be some winners in each. But I think a lot more stuff is found in the bag seed stuff.
Okay, so basically out of like a self plant, because the bag seeds that we're getting,
An accidental self, that's what I was gonna say. Purposely or accidental. So I think they're coming from people that have accidentally found a bag seed. So that's a which I would think, right?
yeah.
That's how it goes in my book. That's how I've seen all the popular stuff popping off. Like there was no males found in that room. It's like, okay, so that makes it a fucking seed, and that's the popping one. Fuck.
I'm gonna go his stuff.
There it is.
Now, here's another thing too. How do you feel about a plant that will put out like little nanners on a bud every once in a while? They won't open up. You know, they never mature. They always stay small and they always stay shut. What do you feel on a plant like that?
Come here to the.
That's still different
Are the
ways.
genetics fucked up, or, you know, is it something that, you know, is all right and we can live with because it never opens up? They never maturely pollinate anything.
If it's a late shower and it's a hasher plant, I wouldn't think it's any problem. But then again, I was doing what I'm gonna do to it. So if I found that, that's what I'm gonna do to that plant.
And it's not a lot of them, you
not
know,
a-
it's only a few on a whole plant.
It's not a loss completely, but if I'm just gonna turn that into hash or something, it doesn't really matter, anyways. But if I'm gonna use it
Of
for
course,
flour, it might mean something. I'm gonna try to turn that into some high grade flour. Put it in a jar, find a flour in there. I'd be a little bummed out. I'd be like, oh, look what I found in my book. Column sack.
so I'm going to use that plant and I'm going to cross it with a couple other things to make sure that it wasn't any like growing conditions that made it turn that way or whatever.
Well, I've seen plants do that, and then you take a cutting off of it, and that cutting doesn't show the same thing that it showed the first time. So
Exactly.
yeah, you could do that and see what happens.
Well, yeah, because we did it cross this past year and it's starting to show a nanner here and there, but they don't open up or anything like that, but they definitely yellow on the plant. So you can tell that they're there. It's a really good cross. It gets you really fucked up. But is that something that you want to put out on the market and have that possibly tarnish your name because that happened? even though it doesn't affect the plant really.
I mean, if you're telling everybody it does that when you're giving it to them, that shouldn't be an issue. When you're saying that, well, this plant does this during
Yeah.
this time, and you're breaking it down for them, because I've heard that a lot. This is a hasher plant, but it does throw nanners at this part, so watch out. And it's like, well, why would you even? Some people would
Well,
say, why
that
would you even run with that? But other people say that's where you're gonna find the winner. That one, because it came from some fucked up shit.
But if it's throwing viable pollen, that's completely different than never actually opening up or throwing inert pollen. That's not going to screw up somebody's garden.
Right.
The other way, I just, yeah, I'm bringing back tie seeds, but everybody's got to understand that there's a good chance that any tie seed is going to be 30 to 50% intersexual traits. I think I've got that 50% cut down to more like 25 to 35, maybe 40% at the maximum. But at that point, we can work with that. We can pop 20 seeds and get 4 females out of there that aren't intersexual. And it makes it worth it because it gives us new vigorous plants to work with. No matter if it's a citrus taste or berry taste or mango, whatever. But yeah, that's also why I'm giving out like 20 packs of seeds. Well, not giving out. The giving out ones are going to be more selective, so you won't have as many intersexual traits in those.
Yeah.
And I also don't have 20 seeds to give to everybody. Holy fuck. I figure I'm going to hand out probably close to 2,000 seeds at free seed day. That's costing me a few $100. Shit. It's costing me more than a few. But I've seen some of the packs for free seed day already, and I can't wait to be able to grab a pack for myself of a few of them, that's for sure. Because last year I missed them. I didn't get to see them set up. Of course, I stayed out in the parking lot and puffed most of the time.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of different, a lot of the same people that were giving seeds away, but then a lot more people too. I've been seeing all the packages get ready.
Oh, you should have seen when I went out. There was literally a stack of boxes 4 feet tall and 8 feet long from people just full of seeds. My fingers were hurting by the end of the last night so bad from putting fucking seeds in little fucking vials, counting them out and shit. Then you had to write on them what they were.
Yeah, see, I got a label maker coming soon. Amazon, shout out. Just kidding. I got a label maker. I'm not gonna write shit ever again. I'll never write nothing again on those fucking packs. I'm tired of writing. So I
Yeah,
hate different
see,
papers.
unless I do it here, I'm not gonna have time to print out labels or anything like that. So I think I'm just gonna do, if I can get some of the plastic vials, I'll put them in the plastic vials. But they just may be little vanilla envelopes where you get the seeds and I handwrite on them.
So here's my little station where I get stuff with me. I'll show it. It's not even big.
Of course, I'm
Stickers on the top, and then I got all the packs, each individual color, envelopes. And my boxes are back here. Boxes. And at the end, it should look like a
yeah.
loaded with seeds.
See, you're at home. I'm in Thailand, man.
There's more stickers to put on packs. Oh man,
I don't feel like I have a home.
yeah, I still don't feel like this is my home. I don't fucking like it, but I do it every day.
I
expect
guess
every-
I could order like Mylar packs and have Mylar, but I don't really have a logo, so what the
Yeah, I
fuck?
got my love. Here's some cool ones back here. The red ones.
I'll just take a couple pictures of Thai buds and send it to them and put Captain 420 Thai seeds.
I just put the stickers on them after I'm done. Like this one with the shiny red sticker looks dope. At the end, it looks classic. Fuck. No, it just looks like it looks whatever. And I got stickers to give away. So it's got all these random stickers, weed stickers, psychedelic stickers, like that. The mushrooms and
Ooh,
flowers, more mushrooms.
I like the mushrooms.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool ones. That mushroom's super cool right there. That one's like one of my favorite stickers.
I like the die cut one too.
Oh shit, dropped the pack. Literally dropped the pack everywhere.
Huh? Well, the last two times you called, I was upstairs. I just went.
There's a mushroom. Piece of pizza. Huzzah. Okay, dog, give my sticker back. Stop. Get off me, fool. Wants it. It's a sticker. It's not real pizza, fool. Dang it, I keep dropping this thing.
Well, you better stick it someplace.
I gotta put that on the wall. That's supposed to be. Got the stud finder right here to do it. I'll never do it. It's my other case of seeds. Should have done this something like that. Other people's seeds. They're paid for over the years. Over the last year, not the years. I didn't have shit before. Before Bud gave me all those packs of seeds. I didn't have nothing. And then he gave me everything. Then I started collecting stuff on my own and talking to people. Seed bed.
Yeah, well, if it turns out like last year, I didn't take all the seeds that were available, but shit. If you're like one of the first 100 people through the door, you're probably ending up getting anywhere from 25 to 50 packs of seeds. Now, yeah, a lot of those packs are only going to be 3 to 5 seeds, but hey, 3 females, because the 3 are usually fem seeds, or you get 2 fem seeds. I got some Northern Light #2 fems last year.
So some of these packs said 3 or 4 or 6, and then you open it up and there's a whole freaking vial full, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found a bunch of them like that. That's badass.
Well, I was standing next to somebody that was there for a long time doing it. and he grabbed some of the bags that had like a lot of seeds in them, and he was just kind of scooping them. Give them 5 seeds. Well, 10 or 12 will fit in a container. That's fine. Boom. So you could have gotten a couple of those containers.
Right. Yeah, I got some full packs.
After you sat down and you've done like 300 or 400, and you look at the big bag of seeds you still have left, and you just go, okay, scoop, scoop, stop
Yeah.
counting. That's a waste of time.
Yeah, see, I just gotta pull out the premature seeds, the little white ones, and then fucking immature seeds. But there was some of each on that tree. Some came early. That tree was hit with so much different pollen of the same tree, like all different times. So I got early seeds, late seeds, medium stage seeds, all different. And I let that plant go as long as I could to get them all to try to mature. They did not. There was like too much pollen.
See,
Too much
I
fucking.
I get different seeds here in Thailand. Some of the seeds you would say, "Oh, those are too white. Those are never gonna pop."
Oh,
And they do. They're perfectly fine.
yeah, they will pop. That's the problem with them outside. They all pop. So you have a whole field of them after.
And then I've had some like really black seeds, like the old Mexican brick black seed.
Yeah, got a bunch of
Cheers,
those.
everybody.
Cheers.
To 20.
And
Cheers.
and the color of the seeds, it's the same strain, just grown in different areas. The seed sizes are different, everything. I can't wait. The buds look the same, kinda, but I'm sure they're going to have their own characteristics. But I had a nice little talk with probably the best female Thai grower in Thailand. And she was giving me pointers on how to grow a couple of these that came off of her farm. So that was kind of nice to be able to get a little bit of knowledge that I can pass on, because it's exactly going to save you all your veg time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she pretty much told me that a couple of the strains, don't even veg them. Don't even put them under continuous light to root. Just put them right out and root them and flower them. And you're still going to end up with a 6 to 7 foot tall plant.
That's what, after the 4th of July, I used to put a bunch of down on my walk path in between my plants because it's wasted space, right? So if there was any space in between my plants that I already had, I would just fill them with seeds by after the 4th. And those plants would be like 7 feet tall. They might just be a stick with one giant cola and 2 little buds off the side, but like, that's a giant cola that wasn't there before. And yeah,
Yep.
I'll just throw a ton of those, like handfuls in between rows. Just no wasted space in the garden.
That's the way I feel. That's why, I don't have a problem moving a couple pots to get to plants that are packed in the back corner.
Yeah, in a room too.
I look at it as any light on the floor is wasted space, wasted money.
Yeah, or wasted smoke if you're doing it for that, or wasted seeds. That's how I saw it too. I was like, dude, I can make seeds on that whole row on that wall. On the inside, I was like, on the outdoor, the same thing. Well, I'm gonna make fucking seeds out here, like seeds in here. Have 2 different batches of indoor, outdoor, and all different fathers. And yeah,
See, if you're growing in like a full room and you still wanted to do seeds, PBS plastic makes those plastic bags you can buy for a branch, for a couple branches, or the whole plant.
Yeah.
And you could collect all the pollen from your male plant and paint, the different females that you have with that male. And you can set that on the outside of the rest of your flowering plants because you're not looking for bud structure and bud forming. What you're basically just wanting is to produce seed. So you can go with an airier bud, something that's more wispy looking, because you're just going after seeds anyways. And the tighter and bigger buds that you have, come on, Robert, some of those buds that you grow are pretty nice with those seeds in them. But those are a bitch to get all the seeds out of dense, tight nugs.
Yeah. I mean, see the
But you can make a bunch of finger hash.
yeah, no, I just break it up as I'm smoking, and then fill up I fill up each vial or a jar. I usually just do individual vials at a time now, because one nug will have sometimes zero, sometimes 100. I'm like, what the fuck? This one's full. This one's got nothing. Fuck yeah, I can just keep smoking this nug. Some of them didn't
Meh.
get hit off, some of them are full. So it's literally a gamble, and I like it. But, oh man, I don't mind smoking it. I like popping the seed once in a while. But like, damn it, I just smoked the one. That's usually what I'll say in my head. I just smoked that one. That could have been the shit right there. I just smoked. But
When I do seeds, I try to do two plants of each because just kind of like you said, I've had plants where I've only gotten like 150 seeds off of. And then the one right next to it, same strain, you're pulling like thousands off of.
you can't smoke nothing from that shit. You gotta literally, it's just a hash. Like after you get the seeds out of it.
Yeah, when I get plants like that, I let them literally hang dry for like 3 or 4 months. They are bone dry when I'm taking out because all I do is basically run my hands down the plant, the bud, and it just crumbles. So all the seeds just drop.
Yeah, all right.
But, you can take those plants and put them on the outside of the room. And yeah, they may not be getting intense direct light, but they're getting enough light to produce seeds and good viable seeds. So, if you've got that extra room and you want to do seeds, by all means, just put those plants out there. Yeah, it may be a pain. You may have to move them to get to your other plants, but you can still do it. It's not going to cost you any more money.
Yeah, so this year I'm not just hitting the plants that I want. Like the full plants, I'm just gonna take cuttings off of those plants and hit those cuttings, even though it's gonna be a lot less seeds. I'll just veg it a little longer, then hit it with the pollen. But I'm not gonna smoke seeded weed ever again that I have to, unless I want to. So,
Yeah, unless it's really good weed.
yeah, like only if I want to smoke it because like I'm gonna smoke it because it's just fire. Like this is really good weed. It's got seeds in it. I know I make seeds in it. Not like, oh man, let's see if it's. Like, I want that whole room to not be. any seeds in there anymore. I just want to get a small tent to make seeds on the side. I've seen that the way some bigger breeders do with smaller tents, and it's a lot easier instead
Yeah.
of just running some in my room. And I get so much more seeds than these people though, so it's like I do like having where I have the whole room full because I get literally thousands per plant, like, which I'm down. I'm down with that because I get to give away everything, like just give it away. I don't. I
Well,
don't.
what you could do is take like a plate and then a hair dryer to one of those like 5x5 tents that you have all your different females in and stand like with a corner of it open, turn on that hair dryer and just pollinate the fuck out of that little 5x5.
Yeah,
That should give
have it
you enough
outside.
seeds like your big room.
Yeah, it really would.
That's a new way to.
That was my idea, throw a whole bunch of pollen into fucking a container, especially when you're doing like an open pollination. So you collect it from like 4, 5, 6 different males of that same strain, put it in a container and have some way to force the air to shoot out the pollen and just cover a complete enclosed area, whatever size it be. Definitely would be the way to pollinate like a greenhouse.
Yeah, I mean, once I move those male plants anywhere too,
Wow.
it's usually over. I move male plants unless I collected pollen before. So I got two plates of pollen that I've collected before, but they're all sealed up and put away. That's one afternoon, and then the two, the other one.
Well, if you were telling me you were going to collect pollen in about a month or 5 weeks, I could probably send you some of the bags because I've got like a couple thousand bags coming. When you look at the discount that the company gives, it's like, okay, I'll just take a lot more than I'll ever need and give them out to friends because, ordering a couple hundred was so much less, or not as so much less than ordering thousands. They definitely want you to buy in quantity. Let's put it that way. It's either that or I'm too cheap and I can't pass up a deal like that.
Yeah.
But these open up to be like
Mhm.
10 inches on the inside. And some of the bags that I have are close to 36 inches long.
And the Sacramento Black Banana guy of twos.
There you go.
The only ones I put in the purple vials, so I don't ever get it confused. And then that extreme cream, I only put the brown 10 vials, centrifuge. They're almost amber, I guess.
All right, guys, I need to hop off. I just found out Mrs. D's mama made turkey dinner, so now I'm gonna pop over and have some turkey.
Oh, heck yeah.
Sounds good.
I'll do for that.
Yeah. Don't
Peace,
forget,
D.
everybody, cheers, everybody in chat. Saturday, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock Pacific, the zombie takeover. Brains. That's me. And possibly an earlier pre-show on my channel. Of course, I am D Zombie. You can find me on Instagram at D_zombie_. Also find me on YouTube. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, just like this channel here, the Fumadoro channel, at D Zombie _745. Peace out, everybody. See you Saturday.
Peace.
I'll make sure I'm not the host.
That wouldn't be the first time.
Or last time.
Yeah, I've checked a few times to make sure that I wasn't the host, and it was like, okay. Bud was.
Jump out before I even check. I take off. Sometimes I don't even get sick. Peace out. Like 2% on my phone, I'm jumping off. I don't even say nothing. Like the story's never gonna. I don't want to interrupt that type of shit. Yeah. Juice box. Continental Breath Banana Gun. Only one seed in there. That's hilarious. One whole seed.
Well, all you need is a female or the right male. If you're stuck on a desert island and you have your forever plant and you've got a male, well, you're definitely going to cross it. I would.
Smoking this cherry OG got me fucked up right now. OG cherry.
This apple jelly fucking has me floored. Well, I'm sorry. I'm actually smoking the Godfather.
I think I've had that once from Dr. Greenthorn.
There's one farmer that does it up here. He does a pretty good job. He actually, a lot of it's grown here, but it's grown by facilities that cut it at 60 days or 58 days. You know, it's actually like a 68, 70-day plant. And if you don't grow it that extra 10 days to 12 days, and you get it at 58 or even 60, yeah, the high is just not there. It's not the same. But the one local Thai grower grows it pretty good. And hey, it's cheap. But that's probably one of the more stonier weeds here. But like I say, most of the places don't grow it out all the way, so it sucks. But, you know, you got to have 6 harvests a year. That's why I say that there should be and still is a market for connoisseur quality weed. You know, we need to get together. It needs to be small batches. And when someone says, I can get this for $100 an ounce, you say, okay, and walk away. You'll eventually find the people that will appreciate the quality, the time, the extra time it takes to grow, or being that rare of a strain. People will pay, just like people will pay for 3 and 4 foot tall plants so they can put them in their room. and have their rich friends over and say, look at my flowering room. Well, didn't you just harvest? Well, yeah, but I've got more plants flowering now. And they'll pay for those 3, 4 foot plants. They want the bragging rights to their friends that they've always got a room flowering, so they always have the best bud. I'm not saying there's a lot of them out there, but there are people out there who can cater to everybody. Yeah, I'm stoned. I haven't been stoned in a while. You're muted, Robert.
And shit. Finally, did something right. Muted myself.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was gonna say. I'm high as freaking yeah. It's like the lights
You
bright.
got crickets?
Yeah. Why wouldn't I? I got
Huh?
spiders. Gotta have crickets. Well, I wouldn't have no spiders. I don't know why they're out right now. It rained last week. That's why. Makes sense.
uh,
Like 2 days ago, it rained. What am I talking about last week? Yeah, weird rain. You know what?
yeah, when rainy season's around, we have crickets. But soon as the dry season comes, man, those crickets dry up really quick. They become food.
Well, they go, they hide. So I get them in the greenhouse. They went under my, in between my smart pots, and I would always wet the smart pots a little bit. But then during the summer, I wouldn't wet them at all. And I went and I checked them all out, pulled it out. And crickets were just all kicking it in there, eating all the fabric. So, yeah, I used to see them eat stuff. People say it's moths, not moths. They eat crickets. I learned that when I was a kid. One of my favorite shirts. So the fucking cricket was on my shirt eating it, and I went and looked. There was a hole. I was like, "See, it wasn't lying." I was told eating gaslight. They don't eat fucking. They don't eat fabric. Like, yeah, they do. Crickets eat all kinds of weird shit. Like I've seen with my own eyes. You can't tell me it didn't happen. That's when I knew to watch out for people. They're always gonna try to tell you what they know, not what, not the truth, just what their limited knowledge. You know? Everybody has a different amount of knowledge. Put to the test every day. You hear somebody say something that's so simple, like wow, yeah,
Oh, you
so
should be here in Thailand. Well,
Thailand
in
is fun.
Thai culture, they don't want to be wrong. So to get like a time, unless it's a business meeting, like company to company, you don't get like they're coming to take the air conditioner out Friday. They said that they'll be here at 8 o'clock. Well, they said that last time that they did electrical work for me, and they didn't show up until 3 p.m. So, they, yeah, trying, and then if they're wrong, they won't admit it because if they're wrong, then they lose face. So yeah,
That's so funny. Can't be wrong.
and I've seen them do some crazy shit to like try to save face. I had a kid actually hit me on a scooter, and I remember I was right on the white line with my turn signal on, slowing down to turn into this part 7-Eleven parking lot. And I could hear the brakes squealing behind me as I was making this turn. And I was able to move my leg up and up a little bit, but it still gave me a 4-inch cut. And this kid was trying to pass me on the left hand side of a white line on the outside of a lane. And he gets off the scooter, and his scooter, he caught me right. He caught me right in the front, in between the tire and the frame of the bike. So everything kind of collapsed on the right side of his bike because he hit my bike, my knee, and the hard part of the frame. And he gets off the bike and he starts yelling at me and screaming at me. You know, I just turn off my bike. My turn signal is still blinking. But I got into a confrontation with a guy because he didn't want to lose face that it was his fault. But there were enough people around. Shit, the girls from 7-Eleven even came out with paper towels because they seen how my leg was going. But yeah, totally in the wrong, but want to deny it. Oh, it wasn't my fault. It was your fault, you Westerner.
Right. I mean, you get that out here a lot when somebody gets in a driving accident. You clearly see that somebody, when you get hit from the behind, like, who's in fault? Who's one at fault? You hit me from behind. No, you did this. It doesn't matter what I did. You're behind me. You shouldn't be hitting me from behind. And they still think that they're right. Like, oh my God, you don't know the law, dude. Like,
Yep.
this is back in the
Called
fuck.
assured clear distance. Living in Ohio and Michigan, you get those. Well, living in Ohio, you would get those tickets and the accidents. Assured clear distance. Yeah, well, you didn't. You also write down that there was 100-foot ice patch. So everybody was getting a ticket per assured clear distance. So everybody's insurance company was going to pay out. And you were going to collect your fine money for it.
I got seeds from that dandelion plant in my freaking. They're everywhere in my greenhouse.
I've got a plant out by my gate that gives off these like neat little needles. They're like a half-inch long, quarter-inch to half-inch long. And all you got to do is brush up against a sucker, and you've got like hundreds of them on you.
Coco. Oh, that dog. Coco, stop.
I actually cleaned up my yard, and when I got done, I had to take my shirt off, and I had like sweatpants on. Before I even came in the house, I was so covered in them. I actually felt bad taking my clothes to the laundromat. I shook them out. Tried to get as many off as I could, but I took them to the lady that does my laundry. I pulled them out. I apologized. She said, "Oh, no problem." She go, "I just wash real quick by hand." I'm like, "Cool."
It's crazy. Good, stop digging.
I got a cat that will come around, and it'll meow and meow and meow. And it wants food, and it'll come into the house, but I have to like pet it for a while, and then it'll go get food, and then it'll come back, want to get pet more, and then it'll go back and get a little bit more food. I've never seen it drink water, and it'll just leave. But every once in a while, like on the show, if I'm sitting outside, it'll come sit with me.
I don't know if I give my dog CBD today, but it's not gonna harm me if I give him a little bit extra. So I'm gonna give him some extra because he's acting like he needs it. It's getting hotter outside. He's not used to the fish swing. Fucking hot now. I'm starting to sweat. Sheesh.
How much do you give them?
Less than one, so I give him a less than a half. So 0.5 mil. So yeah, half of a millimeter, milligram.
Okay.
Should give him one, but this one's stronger. So the other one, let me see. I got it on. Yeah, 2.5, well, 250 milligrams of CBD and then 12.5 milligrams of THC. This one has 250 milligrams CBD, 25 milligrams THC. So I gotta
There
give
you
him
go.
I gotta give him less of this one because it's got more THC. He like bumps into the walls more. He's blind, so he can't see anywhere. But he bumps into the walls more. So it's like, damn it, dude, stop bumping in the walls, buddy. So I gotta walk him around more when I give him extra because the dose is just higher. So it's got the same
But
CBD, but the THC just gets him a little more. But well, just that
yeah,
little bit works. Fuck, it makes it well not works, but more of a difference. Yeah.
well, being here in Thailand and being able to see people basically going from no access to medibles to having access to medibles, you can see where, a little 15 milligram piece totally wrecks people. I mean, it makes them laugh their ass off for 4 to 5 hours, 6 hours. And, people like us, okay, a couple hundred milligrams, okay. But even when I was giving my grandma the rock candy, they were little 5 milligrams. Just that little bit of altered state can make someone's life so much better. And to see that, 10 to 15 milligrams is enough. because, you know, we're all about numbers. More higher numbers is better, right? You know, for grandma, 5 milligrams. Well, grandma was taking 2 in the morning at a time. So she was eating 10 milligrams. And then she was probably eating another 10 or 12 pieces throughout the day. But she ended up having, you know, stomach cancer and never said a word about it. I was quite happy when my grandma started taking it.
That's awesome. Sucks that that has to happen for people to start taking medicine, but yeah, kind of stuff should be. Dog, stop. My dog is up there. My grandma had to take her medicine like after she went to the legal in the shop. She actually wanted to take it. Like, hell yeah, I get to go get edibles. And, yeah, but before that, it was the devil. She like, fuck that
Yeah.
stuff.
Like my father has had this open wound on his ankle for almost 5 years now. And the VA has been treating it, but they can't get it to close up. And I even had my friend come over that from skin cancer had a hole in his neck. And after 6 months of Pico and salve, it healed the hole in the skin cancer. And even after my friend talking to my dad's still like, no, let the VA take care of it. They'll eventually get it. And I'm like, Dad, it's been 5 years. They're either misdiagnosing it or just not treating it properly. Shouldn't have something that's open like that, an open wound for 5 years. And they go in and they clean it up. Basically, they remove the dead flesh instead of trying to heal it. But my dad doesn't want to try anything
Gotta go to one
cannabis.
of them carp or one of the minnow pools where the minnows eat them.
They have those over here for like foot massages. They like eat all the dead skin off your feet. If you've never gone to one, go to one, especially tripping. But that's a big thing over here to put your feet in those and have the little fish eat all the dead skin off your feet. It tickles. You can feel weird too. I actually went and got a massage yesterday. That was nice. Over by the Watt, by the hospital that I go to, there's a section where people from the free clinic and the Watt, they go to this like little group, and there's like 3 or 4 massage shops, all with these older ladies. And you don't think about it, but man, some of these older ladies, they can hit some points and press really hard. I told this lady deep tissue, man, she had me basically screaming. 90-minute massage, $3. That's like $150 back in the States. Shit, you want to spend $150 on a massage here? Shit, that'll get you 2 or 3 days worth.
Yeah, I've never got a massage.
No?
I never want to pay no money.
Oh, wow. If I tell you what, if you don't like, they're to get really good, like deep tissue massages, they'll tell you like what to eat and what to drink the day before and the day of your massage. Because when they do deep tissue massage, that releases a lot of toxins in your body and you can get really sick. I have.
I prefer to keep my toxins right where they are, my friend. You can give your massage that. I'll keep my I don't want to get
We,
sick.
I'm having a little bit of hard time hearing you. It sounds like your mic may be muffled.
Probably is. 'Cause my phone's
Oh,
getting hot.
wow. Yeah.
My phone's getting hot.
Well, let me know when it gets too hot and we'll call it.
It's at 19% right now. Trying to find somewhere to set it. It won't muffle it.
That's fine.
Coco, shut up, Bubba. Takes a while for CBD.
Yeah,
Takes a while.
that's like 80% better. Thank you.
Good stuff. I don't know what I was saying though. Yeah, I'm too high on the hash. I don't need to smoke no more. I'm starting
So
to.
it takes about 20 minutes for your dog to take effect too, because it takes about 20 to 30 minutes for the FICO to take effect for me.
Sometimes it kicks in right away, or he acts like nothing's the matter right after he takes it. Like placebo effect, I guess. He gets it in his mouth and then figures, I know what's gonna happen next, type of stuff.
Okay.
It stops.
I didn't
But now he's
I
not
didn't
stopping.
know. I didn't know if that was something that you noticed with your dog that, yeah, it took like 15 to 20 minutes for it to take effect, even for a dog.
Sometimes in the morning, if I'm smoking something that's really aggressive, like an OG, and I'll blow it towards his way, he'll get like sedated, but then not fall back to sleep, just like calm down. Like, but then if I'm
I had a
smoking,
cat like that.
yeah, if I'm smoking something upper, narrow leaf dominant that gets me going, he gets going too. I noticed just as much, if not more. Like he'll be running in circles, jumping around, causing a commotion.
Hey, Southern.
I gotta mute myself now.
Hey, cheers, everybody, again. How we doing?
Cheers.
Good. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining
sitting
us
back.
again.
Yeah, sitting back, listening there, taking care of a couple of chores here. And you were talking about the deep tissue and how like will release toxins and how you'll feel sick and stuff. Like
Yeah,
that's a fucking true story for people that don't understand that. Um, my old lady will take and do a lot of different massages on me, and one of my doctors is he's labeled a DO, which has something to do with a lot of like pressure point
orthopedic.
type. Yeah, he does a lot of pressure type stuff. and whatnot when I go in and see them. But when she's doing a lot of these deep tissue rubs, the next day it will put me out and not, I don't know how to explain it. It messes me up more for a day or two to get a little bit of relief like further down the line. And it makes you feel, I don't know, the sickness, like how to explain the sickness you feel, because it's not like you feel like you're gonna throw up or you feel like you're gonna go fucking explode on the toilet or something, but like whatever it's doing and releasing into your body, it messes you up for days
Drain.
after. Or at least it does me. It messes me up for days afterwards. And where
It
you're saying
drains your power.
those people tell you to drink or take stuff before and take stuff after and whatnot, I don't do any of that, and I wonder,
Yeah.
like, I need to look into that and do something because I'm a big coffee drinker,
Oh,
and
that's
obviously
it.
being disabled, you don't eat healthy because you're not able to be up doing all the shit that you need to do to say cook proper meals and stuff that go along with that. You know, you got dishes to do afterwards. You got the time it takes to get the product to cook the product to, you know, there's so many different little things that you don't think about until you've got to go do this stuff that we eat unhealthy. A lot of times it's quick meals, fast food, you know, microwave type shit. Um, as much as we try to do proper things, the little proper things we do don't really compensate for the bad things that we're forced to do in a way. Because, you know, I can try to grow as much food as I can here on my land, but I can't personally do that myself either to produce enough here to take care of myself from one crop to the next. So I mean, there's just it being disabled compounds. Like there's so many things that compound on you like that. And, I wonder if that's what I need to look into, is look into like some sort of
It's
prep before she
the
does, and then the
caffeine.
prep afterwards.
How many scoops of sugar or how many
Oh gosh,
spoonfuls of
I,
sugar?
I'm a add some coffee to my sugar type person.
Okay.
You
Uh,
know, so I couldn't even count
that's
it,
a
but I would say like an eighth of a cup to like a 2 to 4 glass thing of coffee, probably.
yeah.
Crazy shit.
Okay. It's the
So
caffeine and the sugar that's really affecting you. Because they tell me to drink like water. And
yeah,
I said, well, what about juices? And they said, you want to stay away from sugar.
yeah, the
You want to
sugars
stay
and
away
stuff.
from sugar, fructose, any type of sugar, whether
Yeah,
it be
anything that's
cane
gonna make your
sugar or
body
from
want to work
juices,
more too,
and
because you
stay
know your
away
body's
from
gonna want to burn that stuff up.
the caffeine
Yeah, yeah. I try
because the
to tell
caffeine
myself no
stays
coffee.
in your body.
You know, the coffee thing is tough. You figure when you spend a lot of time doing things here on your own by yourself, you know, you drinking coffee and just fucking hanging out like goes hand in hand. You know, like
Like
I need to
smoking
pick up.
cigarettes and
Yeah,
driving.
you know, and then sometimes I utilize the coffee to help put me to sleep. You know, and I won't be able to sleep for a couple of days, and then you know I'll have to pound like friggin' a pot of coffee and or at least a couple of good glasses real quick, and fucking within an hour I'll be sleeping for like 4 hours.
Yeah, not the coffee here for me.
Yeah,
2 cups of coffee here, and there's times where I've ate 20 to 30 milligrams of Valium to come down from the
just be able to come
uncomfortable
down. Yeah,
coffee high.
yeah, yeah. No, I like strong coffee and fast coffee and stuff, but like my body is one of those that anything fast, my body takes and it slows me down. Anything that slows me down would speed me up, you know, or would slow a normal person down would speed me up. And so I'm like the opposite. Like people that enjoy,
Yeah,
say, cocaine. If I do cocaine, I'm fucking vegging right on the couch
going to
going to play a
sleep.
video game. Maybe not quite going to sleep, but you know, playing a video game and fucking doing nothing. you know. But again, so like coffee and caffeine, at times I utilize it as my go-to to go to sleep and stuff. Um,
Yeah,
Klonopins used to help me a little bit with the sleep and some
sleep.
of the issues with the back because of the constant nerve and the anxiety that I have all the time. That the Klonopins calm down some of the anxiety enough to not be so tense and all the time. So everything wanting to just constantly hurt, be intense. And yeah, the doctors kiboshed that years and years ago because just what they say about barbiturates and stuff, they don't want you on them long term, blah blah blah. But the doctor that finally prescribed them to me and had me on them, we had worked for years and years to get to that point, and it wasn't
Yeah.
a medicine that was like it. He was like, you know what? He goes, this is out of the ballpark, but let's try this, let's do this, and see if this works, and blah blah blah. And there was relief. And so my options at that time were, do you keep trying to do something with pain medication to get the relief, or do you just go with this here and get the relief? Which one's the worst? And the to me the Klonopin wouldn't be nearly as bad as like being on the pain meds, the whole time. But
I
when
I was
people,
on
when doctors,
Flexerol. I was
yeah,
on Flexerol and Valium at the same
yeah,
time. And when they
that must,
came up with this number thing for patients, the first thing that had to go, and they said, well, you can either take away the Valium or you could take away the Flexerol. And
yeah,
I said, well, you guys prescribe me Flexerol, but it's something that I literally have a couple thousand of.
yeah.
And taking
It's
the
useful at times, but
Valium,
it's not a long-term useful thing.
but the Valium actually relieves my tension, which
Yeah,
relieves a lot of my back spasms and
right.
neck
Yeah, no,
spasms.
exactly. I
I
totally
said,
understand that and
keep me
totally
on
know.
the Valium.
Yeah, yeah. That would have been the other thing, like a Valium or like because the Klonopin and Valium are similar in a way, right? Two different
Yeah,
classes, but kind of do the
yeah.
same idea of a thing that kind of calm you down, slow you down, take away anxiety, help you sleep, that
Yeah,
kind of
they're
thing.
an antidepressant. The
Yeah.
Klonopin did the
And
same
when
thing
you're
for me. They
disabled and
made me
fucked up,
more
whatever,
sleepy.
yeah. And who isn't depressed when you're fucking disabled?
Yeah.
So
And
I mean,
then,
there's so many good benefits to some of these that they overlook just because of the fucking some of the problems or pictures that they paint in their own heads or
well, my parents got to see it firsthand because when I came home for that 11-month period, I didn't, I had a little bit of medicine saved up from here, and then I had a 1 month supply.
yeah,
And after that ran out, I really didn't have anything for like 6 months, except for I was trying RSO,
yeah,
FICO. And that's when I found out that I'm sensitive to THC and it speeds me up instead of putting me to sleep. But when I went back to the doctor finally, because I couldn't get any sleep or anything like that, he
and
gave
that's
me, and
when I found
he
out.
was like, I can give you the pain medication, but you have to stop the diazepam. And I came back with a dirty test with diazepam after he told me to stop.
Stop.
And he
Yeah,
said, listen, if you don't stop, I can't give you these anymore. And he's, so I had to stop for like 4 months. And my parents made comments to the people that were around me that I had become antisocial and everything like this.
I noticed
And
that
my
when
parents
I was
don't
on it, I was
listen
more.
to me, but they listen to my friends, and they found out that, hey, the doctor took him off the diazepam so he doesn't feel like coming down and talking to you guys because he doesn't feel right.
Yeah, no, I can totally relate to that too. Like it helped me be a little more social person, but some of that too is because I felt better and I didn't feel like I'm gimping around, being the third wheel, all fucked up. I'm looking for a place to want to sit and rest and lay down while everyone else is doing something.
Yeah,
It allowed you to be more active and do a little more. So there
ex-
helped in that aspect.
yeah, being active is the best thing a disabled person can do, even if it's just keeping your mind active.
Not that I haven't had to do what I've needed to do, but I don't have any black marks on my health records for anything medicine wise and stuff. I always was lucky and either didn't get tested or like had already knew and pre-planned for any testing and stuff. So all my tests would come back clean all the time and stuff. And they don't have any reason in that aspect to not provide me with some sort of means of being able to do more. It's just, what's going on in society is got them all thinking one thing and not wanting to be the
To your
doctor that
patient.
right. They don't,
Take
it's
patient upon patient basis. Somebody that had a terrible work accident 30 years ago, they're only going to get worse as they get older.
exactly.
Don't treat them like somebody that, oh, they just got hurt, they just got out of the hospital. You know, don't give them like 4 100 milligram morphines. Give them
Right.
4 30 milligram ones. Don't
Yeah.
start them off with a real high dosage. But those people that need it, give them the medicine that they need. I kind of brought it up earlier that, maybe on D's show, to be able to get the medicine that really works for my nerve pain,
Yeah.
they have to give me morphine. And I've tried to say, keep the morphine, just give me the 4 milligram Dilaudid. That's
Yeah.
all I'm asking for. But they want to
Yeah.
give
Morphine.
me 90 or 120 milligrams of morphine and
Yeah.
then
There's
give me the pills.
somebody told me, I can't remember what it was. I'd have to ask my old lady because she knows more about this stuff than I do and remembers it more. But there's something better about you doing morphine long term, I believe, than any of the other medications.
I tell you
Don't quote
what,
me
it sucks.
don't quote me on that, but I think for some reason that's what I'm thinking was explained to me. Why sometimes they push the morphine onto people for the long term. But you know what? I
Yeah,
just got to thinking, and I'm sure somebody else is thinking this, and I'm sure they probably already have it, or if not, they're going to. But for folks like this, like us, okay, like they they've talked to me about putting that damn TENS unit thing in me so many different
or the
times over
pump.
the years, or yeah, or something like that, where they put the box in your ass and wire in everything and blah blah blah. So why can't you put a box in my ass that gives you a shot every day? I could come into this
No,
doctor's
it's
and get medicine every day, right? You can
it,
go
it
to
is.
say the methadone place and take your methadone every day. You can go down to the Suboxone place and do that every day. What if you didn't have to and you could get your box and your ass filled for 30 days and every day it gave you a certain amount of whatever medicine you needed?
No, they have them. They
Do they?
offered it
Yeah.
to me. Yeah, they offered it to me, and I
They
turned
probably
it
had it for
down.
like fucking 20 years. Changes
because
that
the
far behind time.
boxes, when they offered it to me, it was like a 4 inch by 3 inch box.
Yeah.
And I would plug it in, I would unplug it and plug it
Right,
in at night.
not the tens unit and stuff. I've had
No,
that and stuff where I glued
this
it on to me
this
and
was
had to carry the box and stuff. And then the last one they talked to me about putting the box actually like
fentanyl.
surgically in your ass so you never see it or never fuck with it again. And I
Yeah,
was like,
see,
yeah,
no. This is a box that I would plug into two ports or a port,
yeah,
and it would feed me X amount of fentanyl.
huh, no shit,
They even brought up the morphine, doing it with morphine too.
yeah,
And I'm like, no, because it really doesn't work for me. I take it one time a day.
yeah. See, with the box like that though, you'd have to keep something like that locked up because that's not,
Yeah,
that box would be in your living room for you to go plug into. Where that container that's in your ass giving you a shot every day, someone would have to cut your ass cheek out, fucking, to steal your fucking meds. you
yeah,
know,
but how they gonna refill it? You're gonna have to
they'd
have a
have to have a
tube that
port. They'd
comes
have some
out
sort of
your
port.
ass.
You'd have a port or something. Like I took care of a kid that had cystic fibrosis
Yeah,
for 4 years, and he had a belly port for feeding, and that's how he took 90% of his food was these different types of protein drinks and stuff. And you had this monster fucking syringe that you plugged into it, and you pumped it up, and his belly would just get full, and then every like say month or so, you would take and release the air. Like the tube that goes into his belly is like a tube inside of a tube. So you put it in and you blow it up, and the outside tube blows up as a balloon and keeps it in there and keeps it sealed from anything leaking out. So you'd release the air out of it, pull the tube out, clean everything, put a fresh tube in, and like I forget where I was going with it. Oh, be able to inject it and stuff.
yeah, into the machine
Yeah, and
that's
he
in
had
your
like
ass.
anything
We're
he
just gonna
needed was
go
like
through the
that. They
hole
would leave a
that's
port.
already there.
Yeah,
What do you mean? Well, we can go through your dick or we can go through your
right.
ass.
But I mean, they always do the different IV things. I'm sure they've got some sort of low pro IV thing that a lot of like cancer patients must have to wear them home for when they're doing certain chemotherapies and shit like that. Like, I'm sure they've got some sort of crazy tech that they
Well,
could
yeah.
take care of people, but
And
everything
when
at a
they were
cost, my friend.
talking to me about that, that was 15 years ago, 16 years ago. That was
Yeah.
before the big, crackdown.
Yeah, I was right during it. I was 28 years old when I went in for my first surgery. And at 28, how old was I? 'Cause I'm 46 now. So 18 years ago was my first surgery, and right through my mid 30s and stuff. Like my first surgery and like leading up to it and going into it, the doctors were normal to me. Like treat you how you would think. You something happened, leading up to months leading up to the surgery, they put you on medications, kept you kind of moving, going, working, doing stuff you had to finish up and stuff. Surgery after surgery, boom, boom, boom. But then, in my 30s, like the epidemic was like pushed like hard, and dude, like half of the folks I probably graduated in high school with, like either got hooked on stuff and went like south or friggin' are dead or in a hole somewhere. And it
Yep.
just rampant, And, I mean, you've heard about it, you know how it is. And small town and stuff, it just came in and wiped that town out. There was nothing in that town to begin with. All the mills had moved and stuff and whatnot. So there wasn't anything but retail and whatnot there. So it's a high crime place, and drugs are great there. So it's like during those times, yeah, I felt I got kind of screwed over a little bit. And then being young, tattoos, I lost a lot of stuff. I was pretty heavy invested in stuff. Me and my wife, or my old lady, I should say, I shouldn't say wife. Um, we in our early 20s, our young 20s, we logged and for ourselves, had our own equipment and did our logging business. And once my back started acting up in my later 20s, um, we stopped doing that and just went into doing construction and doing some of our own stuff. We did some auctioneering, and she was a notary, so we went around and did mortgages on folks' homes. And at that time, it was a big boom on everyone putting second mortgages on their houses. So I mean, we were going 7 days a week, fucking 100 hours a week, making really good money, had
Yeah.
tons of investments, and you know how it goes. You got payments and payments and payments, and then boom, something like that hits, dude, and you're like, okay, I figured something, could happen that, you plan a little bit, you try to figure a little bit, you say, okay, well, we'll just sell this shit off that we don't need and we'll pay for that and we'll get by for a little bit. Okay, things will get better next week or next month or 6 months from now. And then all of a sudden you get to the 6 month point and nothing's better. It's even worse or just as bad. And you're doing the same thing. You're selling off your shit to try to okay, just buy some more time when you look at the whole picture in the very end, at the beginning of the whole shit show, you should have just consolidated, sold off everything, fucking said fuck all the loans, fuck all the payments, and went and bought yourself a place and just tried to start over right then instead of trying to fucking for years struggle to try to keep everything going and going and going and fucking lose everything in the end anyways.
Yeah.
But
See, I got hurt 16 days after my 23rd birthday. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah, young, dude, young to
You
be getting
know,
fucked up.
by the time I was 24, I had joined Normal and I had gotten politically active because they were shoving pills down my throat that weren't doing anything. I tried alcohol for 3 months. That wasn't the key.
Dude,
And
yeah,
someone
I saw it.
said, hey, have you ever thought about, smoking a joint? And I'm like, well, I'm on workers' comp and, if I get caught with an illegal substance in my
Yeah,
system, then, I'm kind of fucked with, trying to get any type of other medication because back then pot was still looked upon very badly in Ohio. And I smoked a joint and I said, hey, I need an ounce because I was able to do things that I wasn't able to do without the weed.
yeah,
So it made a big improvement in my life. And that's when I decided to get politically active. Besides that, a couple years after volunteering, we found out that if we had a storefront that we ran a chapter out of, and it was called Cannabis Connections. And I actually became an paid employee of Normal and the store for minimum wage. And the state of Ohio paid me the wage loss difference of my $28 an hour job.
whew, nice.
Yeah. So the state of Ohio was paying me like $20 an hour to basically go work for Normal to try to change the marijuana laws.
Yeah, yeah, you can't say no to that.
No, did that for 3 years. So that's why I'm only a few credits short of being able to claim SSD
Yeah,
and going back and doing this job for this group of people is one of the things is they have to give me a weekly paycheck. enough to get a full week's credit hours
That'll
into
get your
Social
hours started.
Security, and they're going to pay my Social Security for me.
Nice.
Yeah. So hopefully I'll be able to, in a couple years when my body finally breaks down completely, I'll be able to collect a decent income.
Yeah.
Because like I say, I get zero from the government right now.
Yeah. I got approved, God, was it 8, 10 years ago or so, and went through the whole fucking ordeal. It was a big shit show, big long ordeal. But
Yeah, but you
another
worked it
reason why
long
I'm so
enough to pay into
yeah,
it, though.
that's the fucked up
I
part. Listen to this. This is another reason why
you
I'm so
own
bitter
you owned your own
at the
business and you didn't.
no, not all that though either. Part of it is that yeah, I can look back and say yes, I did lose out by not paying in like the amounts I should and stuff. But me, I always tried to keep some sort of like a paycheck job going and stuff. So I always had my quarters built up. Now, when all the bullshit started happening, they started putting me on all these different drugs, the Celebrex, the Nalox, the um um man, I can't think of the fucking names of the half of them. Some Cymbalta, fucking
Yeah,
Nexium was something for my stomach, I think for the acid and stuff.
stomach.
But there was like 50 different types of fucked up drugs, and like three or four of them like gave me really bad reactions. Where I like one of them, I lost a whole a year or two of my life. I don't remember for like almost 2 years of my life any single thing. Somebody can tell me exactly what happened on that Christmas, on that birthday, on that New Year's, whatever. I have zero recollection. Can't tell you nothing. Whatever took place in those 2 years, I don't know what I did. If I did anything good, anything bad, like nothing. And during these times are some of these quarters that I needed for my fucking SSI or SSDI, whichever one it is. Um, so I missed out on my quarters. So I get the bare minimum. It's 1,000 and I think $65 a month is what the bare minimum is,
Yeah,
and that's before they take out child support and before they take out for because now you're on their insurance, their Medicaid. So there's a chunk of that you got to pay for yourself. Um, I have like the Medicaid, the federal insurance, but I also have like a state aid insurance too. I have two insurances, so when I go to the doctors, like I don't have to pay nothing. And
yeah.
if there is a prescription, it's like maybe like 25 cents or 50 cents or something to pick it up. But I have to pay a certain amount out of my monthly that goes to that and stuff. But in the end, I get like $900 a month, and that's what I got to try to live off of. Thank God I was able to find like this mobile home for fucking mad cheap, dude, like 20 grand with like an acre, and it's not totally cheap, but it's cheap enough for walls and a fucking roof
A
over my head.
place to live.
And
Yeah,
my taxes per year are $580 per year. So you figure that's roughly like 40, $50 a month. And then you just do the math on what it costs for electricity, what it costs for internet, and then the last little bit is for my cigarettes, my fucking food, and like if I need some heating and stuff and I mostly do firewood, but I have propane backup. So like each month I'm left with like $400 to go grocery shopping for the whole month. Try to survive for me and my daughter when she's here and stuff, but it's like, it's a struggle, but I've figured out a way to be able to do it off a few $100s a month. It's not great living, but I am waking up every day and able to see the sun. So
when I got out of jail in Illinois, I went up to Michigan because that's where I was going from California. I was dropping all my stuff off in Michigan at a storage unit.
yeah,
and then driving the truck back to Cleveland. And oh fuck. I went up to Michigan for like 7 to 8 months before I found my house. And I found a foreclosure outside of Flint in a town called Durand. It was
Yeah.
known for the largest railroad switch yard in Michigan. Well, I had a 1909 house, so my basement walls were anywhere from 3 feet to 8 feet thick.
Yeah.
So I had a nice big 4 bedroom, 20, almost 2,500 square feet. 20, yeah, almost 2,500 square feet. There was someone still living in the house, and we finally were able to go and actually walk through the house. And the realtor that morning called me up and said, you know what? I just got a call from the bank. I think you're really going to want this house. They just dropped it to 19.9. Well, it was only at 22.9 to begin with.
Yeah.
And there was someone living in it. So if there's someone living in it, I can pay 22.9 for the house.
Right.
But
Fucking,
yeah,
you hear there's a lot of homes out there like for sale or gone to foreclosure that you can get them really, really cheap because the mills out there are same deal. You know, everything old school railroad mills and shit are shutting down.
yeah.
But like the homes, a lot of them are what high taxes. Like the taxes are what killed everybody, or is allowing for the homes to be so cheap. Is that what you see
Well,
out there?
not in Michigan. My house insurance and my
Yeah.
property tax was 2,300 a year.
Yeah. See, I can't afford property insurance. I
My
can't even
my
insure this
prop
house, dude. I'm so nervous
my
not
house
having my place insured.
was $900 of that. So my property tax was $1,400 a year, and I
Yeah.
lived in
Yeah, that's not bad.
downtown Durand.
Dude, that's cheap. That's cheap, especially living downtown. Like mine are so cheap because we're
Yeah,
out in the middle of East Bumfuck, and you know, if you want to go grocery shopping, you're 45 minutes. If you want to go to a country store, you know, you're 10 minutes type deal.
I had an L-shaped porch on my house, and you can sit in the front and look at the abandoned, dilapidated building with asbestos shit hanging off of it.
Yeah,
The railroad tracks right in front, which is over an overgrown asphalt parking lot that has weeds growing up in it.
yeah, fucking
If
yeah,
you
6 foot
get the
weeds everywhere.
right view, you look at the uh, railroad station, which is an active, what's the big railroad for people? Shit, I'm drawing a blank. But Amtrak,
Yeah,
there's an
Amtrak. Yeah,
Amtrak station at that railroad station, so you can pick up the train there. And then the house next to me, no one's lived there for 15 years. And the guy bought it and never put any money into it. And it was falling apart.
yeah,
So that was, my view. And oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you about the month and a half that smelled like cow shit, because the other side of the railroad tracks was literally a cornfield.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, that's pretty rural. But hey, I actually had a really nice basement for growing weed in. during the summertime, you didn't need an air conditioner down there. You just needed a dehumidifier all the time.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. The old stone basements. Fucking like to sweat.
Yeah. And I had painted the entire basement with that pool paint. So
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
more of like a rubberized paint.
Yeah. I've done a few of those. The hydraulic paint there that's supposed to hold moisture and water back. It's like a moisture lock paint type stuff. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
something you use in a pool or.
I used it two ways. I figured, okay, if I don't have good foundation, at least if I do it this way, the water won't get in.
Right.
You know, and when I need to, all I need to do is take the hose and spray down the room.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that's all I did.
That's what I'm gonna. My next time I build my final fucking grow room, it's gonna be a room that I can wash down. It's going to be a full PVC room or a full type of room that I can go in there with a hose from the top to bottom and squirt it.
I left two mechanical timers on the wall connected to the two dedicated 220 lines that were running down my basement. So the guy that bought my house, I think even the realtor made a comment. He said, "Ah, a move-in business." I hope he used them. But yeah, during the winter time, it was really easy to keep my basement underneath the lights. It was 76 degrees. You get out from underneath the lights and you could probably see your breath.
To your breath, yeah. Well,
But I
I
had
got some
a
company that just stopped by, guys, so I got to bounce.
uh,
But
piece.
good good chilling with you there, Green Fingers. There, finish
So,
chowing your lunch there. Enjoy,
yeah,
Captain. Stay out of trouble. Stay safe, homie. Anyone else that's here, there, have a good night. Stay safe. Everyone in chat, much love.
Peace.
Peace out.
have a good day.
Well, Robert, you want to call it?
Yeah, if you want, it's over. It's over.
All right.
Had a good time, everybody. Thanks for kicking it with us. Thank you, Captain,
Yep.
for out. It was fun, like usual.
Hey,
All right,
thanks for coming and hanging out, Robert. Always
sure.
a pleasure.
Thank you. Good to hang out with you.
Everybody out in chat, thanks for hanging with us. Remember, Saturday show, same time, same bat channel. Peace out.
Sorry, everybody.